We are live here on a Tuesday night, folks. I just tweeted out the link, so you came from Twitter. Welcome in. We're getting things rolling. We're getting things started. We are excited because I think some things are going to change tonight. I don't think Ohio State's going to be number one anymore, and I think we're just going to see how much Michigan gets valued for their win, their top 10 win without their head coach on the road against Penn State. Ohio State was getting all the love early on. Notre Dame, now they've got 3 losses. Penn State, well, Michigan beat them, I think beat them more impressively. And there it is. We're awaiting the end of the Duke-Michigan State game. There's 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game right now. Michigan State down 3 to Duke as we have it. Jack, do we already have a Super Chat? 50 from Super Chat. Ashley Lawson, I think we got a new friend here. $50 Super Chat. Ashley, it says, got the best news today at URM. Cancer-free again. Let's get some claps in the chat for Ashley. Cancer-free again. Congrats to you, Ashley. Wow, that's amazing news today. And again, I mean, it's happened prior. So what a battle you fought there. Certainly know how hard that is. Hey guys, you see that little heart. If you're looking at the chat, I see it on my desktop. I think it's on mobile too. Let's hit that little heart icon to the right of the chat. See if we can light it up for showing Ashley some love. Ashley, we now have you, Jack. Let's add her 2 more to the helmet raffle giveaway. We're going to do a helmet raffle giveaway as well. Ashley, you've got 3 entries right now. Whether we do it tonight or maybe even next Tuesday, we'll see. You have hit that heart for Ashley. Cancer-free again. Got some great news again from University of Michigan. Hit that heart icon here in the chat. All right. Thank you so much for Ashley. Ashley, you have got 3 entries into the Michigan helmet raffle. We had $450 starting last week. Going forward, I think we were at $140 last week. 50 more tonight, so we're at $190, something like that. So getting in close, getting in range. Ashley has herself 3 entries, and at $10 more, Ashley will get you, whether it's here or via Venmo, we'll get you another one. I don't know. It's going to be tough. We might have to, maybe Ashley just gets the helmet after this one. I don't know, Jack. People are talking here. Here are the folks that have it in there right now. So Jim Prindable, I think he had the 2. James Strange. Now Ashley Lawson has 3. This could be you. So if you want to super chat $20 or more, we are going to give a helmet away either end of the show today or next Tuesday. Once we hit $450, we're sitting at what, Jack? That's what, $190, right? So about $260 left to go. Don't put me on screen just yet if you can, Jack. I got to fix this cord. It's down the wrong side of my there. All right, so there it is right there on screen. $20 either super chat or you can Venmo me as well. We prefer the Venmo, actually, but I know that's not easy for everybody. Not everybody uses Venmo, but if you want to send 20 via Venmo, I will keep that up and keep tracking that bad boy right here. I was getting confused last week, Jack. I was seeing like notifications from prior weeks, etc. So if you want to Venmo me, Jack, when you get a chance, toss that Venmo up on there. We've got another super chat coming from Sheldon Cooper. He says, Yoder, long-time listener. Hit me straight. I'm going to read it down here. Guys, I think we need a super chat to get me LASIK eye surgery, although someone did DM me a couple days ago, said, hey, LASIK's not going to help you, James, with your problem. But I'm going to read it from my computer. It says, Yoder, longtime listener, hit me straight. Any weight to this gambling investigation in Vegas? Do you expect any more surprises? As always, Bosa. I have seen the rumors started by a guy, something Dotson. He's a lawyer in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Goes by Dotman on message boards. Has been around the message boards for 25 years, right? Works with Sam Webb. Said they're interviewing players right now. I don't think that has anything to do with gambling. And then Ohio State insiders are kind of taking it and pushing forward. I have not heard anything substantial at this point. Now, there's been plenty of things during this whole saga that we were led to think one way that have gone a little bit sideways, including the temporary restraining order for Jim Harbaugh being announced before the Penn State game. That did not happen. So anything's possible at this point. I did want to cut you straight there, set you straight. But I don't think that's reasonable at all. I think if that was the case, I mean, we're talking about prison time for people if there was some sort of fixed gambling anything, or if it's investigation just with Connor Stallions alone. I just can't imagine something that serious, being out there and not being broken by one of these breaking news blog boys, Pete Thamel or whoever else does that. So thank you so much, Sheldon, for the $5 super chat. Add that one to the total, Jack. All super chats or Venmos. When we hit $450, we'll do our helmet giveaway. Now, make sure you change that title on that one, Jack. We got a misspelling on that third word. We are looking for a few people. So Dominic Franchillo, I got 2 giveaways for you from last week, but I haven't got a DM from you, and I haven't seen you in the comments saying, hey, here's my Twitter account like that. So Dominic Franchillo, you have got a hard hat coming to you, right? A full-up hard hat from last week. You won one of the duck races, and you won another duck race, but we want to give you something different, so we're going to give you the Don t-shirt, the Don 7, here from the Michigan Football Report. Also, Mike Layton, you are getting yourself a hard hat as well. So if you guys could either DM me on Twitter, it's at James Yoder on Twitter, or hit us on Instagram in the DMs. It's at Michigan Football Report, and we will just get your address and ship those off to you as soon as possible. Either one of these guys, if you don't use those, just comment somewhere. I'll keep checking in the next few days for the comments to see what you guys put. If you'd rather have me email you or something like that, you got to put some sort of contact in the YouTube comments, or DM me on Twitter or the Michigan Football Report on Instagram. All right, audience getting started. 275 people watching now. Let's light it up with Go Blues. The chat rate has been struggling so far, Jack. What is the deal with that? Chat rate's only struggling. It's at like 7 chats per minute right now. So let's get some Go Blues if you're a Michigan football fan. I've already seen the Ohio State fans in the comments. Absolutely atrocious people. And, we got to make sure that we are showing them what Michigan football is made of. The amount of comment cheaters and this and that. We got John Blaze. He is back and better than ever. That is 10 entries for John Blaze. Fill up an entire row for him, Jack. Just leave that this could be you on a second one. And then when John Blaze with a $200 super chat. He says, I'm back. Free Harbaugh. See y'all in Maryland with 1,000 win. John, are you going to be there? Section 20. I got to write this down. Level B, Section 25, Row A. John, I will be there. I am flying out on, I'm sending this message to myself, flying out on Friday. I want to be there for number 1,000. So, John, go blue. Bosa, congrats to Ashley as well. He's a real one. And, hey, bet, just like Santano, Jim Harbaugh, maybe not Harbaugh, Santano, Tom Brady, all the Michigan football players, J.J. McCarthy, sad last week. John Blaze, the $200 super chat. He has himself, John, 10 entries into the helmet giveaway. And that means, Jack, we're like within striking distance, right? We're like 50, 60 bucks away from getting the helmet. John, I will DM you later tonight or tomorrow. Let's try and sync up sometime on Saturday. No plans pregame, and the world awaits us after the postgame. So I'll be up in D.C., land at BWI Friday morning, and right about the time Jim Harbaugh is in his court case. So we will see how things are shaking out with John Blaze, MVP of today's show. He's got himself 10 entries. We are $55 away from a helmet giveaway. So $55 more in Super Chats. We are going to pick anyone. Now, it's $20 for either Super Chat or Venmo. Jack, I'll toss my Venmo up here in a moment. And you can Venmo to $20 if that is easier or if that is preferred by you guys. As we await the third college football playoff top 25 coming up here in just a moment. That's my Venmo. It's at James-Yoder-1. You can screenshot that, or if you're on a TV or computer, just use your camera, scan that promo code or QR code, and send it over. $20, and then as soon as we get it, we'll do a raffle. And if we get more than that, over the 40, 50, we might do one of those duck races or something like that right afterwards. Before we get to the top 25, guys, we are presented by Prize Picks, our presenting sponsor. They've been with us all football season long. My Prize Picks this week, I switched it up a little bit. I've got a 4-pack. I let Jeremy Beadling, a.k.a. Jeremy Chugs, the former producer of the show until we upgraded and got it rolling with Jack. He paid him for me. He's got a bunch of mores. C.J. Stroud, I don't like it. The Kelsey brothers, a weird bet there. Jalen Hurts, and then C.D. Lamb. He's got a 4-pack of more. I'll tell you about more of those bets in a second, but why I love Prize Picks. It's so easy to play. I can make my picks in under 60 seconds. There's no guesswork. There's no elaborate lineups. There's no planning against other people. It's you and the numbers. They give you a number, touchdowns, passing yards, basketball, all kinds of things like that, points, rebounds, assists. You just say more or less. You can mix your match sports. They've got a reboot policy, so if a player you pick for your Prize Picks, he gets hurt in the first half, doesn't come back in the second half, the pick, the entry continues to live on. That player would just be backed out. And then you've got Flex Play. One more time my picks to show you guys what I'm playing. I'm like a 3-week losing streak, so I got to get it back, so I let somebody else make the picks for me. I got C.J. Stroud more. I've got the Kelsey brothers more, scoring a touchdown. Jalen Hurts scoring a rushing touchdown. And then C.D. Lamb, I've got him more than 88.5 receiving yards. Prize Picks is giving you up to $100 first deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS. That's prizepicks.com/CLNS. Promo code CLNS. $100 first deposit match up to $100. Jack, toss that link in the live chat when you get a chance, and make sure you guys are supporting the show. Get Prize Picks going. I've been making Prize Picks 3-4 days a week the entire football season, and I absolutely love it. We've got a $20 super chat coming in from Cool Mo T coming in there. He's got himself a spot on the helmet. I owe John Blaze, I owe Ashley Lawson, I owe Cool Mo T a helmet sticker. So let me get those going. He's saying, just win the whole damn thing. Guess there's only one thing left to do. Win the whole thing. It's actually the F word in there. Cool Mo T getting you a spot in the raffle, and you're getting yourself 2 helmet stickers. So let me get one of those out of the way for you right now. M-O-E-T-E. That's right. E-T-E. And it's 11/14. If you guys don't know about the hard hat, anybody who's on the hard hat gets on the hard hat. We're giving these away. We're trying to send out 2 from last week. So Cool Mo T's up there. Jim Printable, James Strange, Stephen Mers, Dominic Francillo, Lord Buddy Bear, Mike Layton, Ashley Lawson. She'll get another one here. And Jim Printable had quite a few on there from last week. We got about 6-7 of these we got to give away to people, led by John Blaze, our Super Chat MVP last year and so far this year. Cody Mount for coming in. He says, I've been watching since 2018 and we are on Facebook Live. Love how brutally honest you are. God bless your family. Thank you so much to Cody Mount for a multiple-time helmet winner, right? Helmet sticker guy, and a really strong supporter of the show. Wish I made John Blaze money. Cody, $3 more will get you another helmet sticker or 13 entry into the helmet giveaway. John Blaze, though, I mean, this guy's been all over the world, going to the Michigan-Maryland game. He's been in South America. He's been all around, and he is really helping out with the support of the Michigan Football Report. Jack, where are we at with this game? Do we want to give people kind of an update? We can toss this one. As we're waiting for the top 25 rankings, ask you guys this question. I think it's the first time I think there's actually a question who's going to be number 1 in the CFP top 25. So when these rankings are revealed in a matter of minutes, 3 minutes and 52 seconds left in this game. Of course, it'll go a little longer than that. Michigan, Ohio State, or Georgia. So let's say who will be number 1. I'm going to say Georgia because they went in and dismantled a top 10 Ole Miss team, and that's 2 ranked wins in a row for them. Had they struggled and Michigan maybe had a little bit more of a dominant of a win, like 35-10, I think Michigan could have jumped there. But I actually kind of believe that given Notre Dame's struggles, they've got 3 losses, and Michigan's mutual opponents with Ohio State, I think that road win over Penn State is actually going to mean more. I think the road rankings are going to go Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Ohio State 3 is how we will see it shake out. Do we have another $20 super chat, Jack? $20 super chat coming in from Angela. Let's get one from Angela. Wish I could be there for win 1,000, but I'll have the next best thing. I'll be with my dad, who was just released from the hospital. She is a first-time super chatter. We're going to give her a hail, 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 hail to Angela, the first-time super chatter. Thank you so much. And wow, hope your dad is doing well. Just released from the hospital. Hope it wasn't anything serious, Angela. Sounds like he's out of the hospital. He's at least in better condition, good enough to leave, and we really appreciate that. Angela, you are getting yourself on the hard hat. I still owe another one to Ashley. I still owe one to, I owe 10 to John Blaze. Who else do I owe one to? That's super chat, Jack. I can't remember. I'll have to look back at him. Cool Moti, I got him. Angela. Yep, Angela, I got. I need to get one for John Blaze. I need to get one for Ashley Lawson again. Sam Strupa coming in with the $5 super chat. First time super chat. Didn't put anything, Sam, but interact with Sam a lot on Twitter. He's in the comment section here. Appreciate you, Sam. How about watching the show, Jack, since Cody Mountford watched this 2018 Facebook Live. Can you believe that? And 2018, before you were born, before Jack was born. Believe that. And he's already working here. Jack, let's take a look at some of the stuff with the show. What we're waiting for here with the college football playoff top 25. Let's what do we got for the folks here as we are awaiting this game? Michigan State is down right now to Duke. They're about to take, I think, their second loss. It is now 65-56. They just scored a points. Top 10 from this past week. So Ohio State, they get the win. They beat up Michigan State. They were crushed them in the first half. Really shut it down after halftime. Georgia 52-17 over Ole Miss. Michigan got the win 24-15 against Penn State. Let that last touchdown in at the end of the game. Florida State closer game, kind of a slugfest a little bit with, of course, Miami. Nothing really exciting there. Washington holds on against Utah. Oregon gets the win over USC. Texas, they were up big, and then they just had to hold on to beat TCU. Alabama gets the win over Kentucky. Ole Miss, of course, loses to Georgia, and Penn State loses to Michigan. That score, though, is 24-15, Jack, not 25-15. Let's take a look at the remaining games of the top teams, right? Ohio State ranked number 1. They've got Minnesota coming up on Saturday. Then, of course, they travel north to Michigan. It's going to be in the mid to high 30s. Chance of rain, chance of snow. Beat Ohio State again. Let's get the Bosas in the comments. Let's make sure you guys don't forget about the mission. I know it's Maryland this week, but we're going to be talking on Twitter, on this channel, the next, 11 days, a lot of beat Ohio State again. How about Georgia? Remaining schedule for the Georgia Bulldogs, number 1 in the AP poll, probably be number 1 tonight. They've got Tennessee on the road. They got to go to Tennessee. Then they've got to go on the road to Georgia Tech. Then they'll likely play, not likely, they will play Alabama in the SEC championship game after that, as both sides have clinched their spot. Georgia's going to be favoring that game, right? The line has come out by 3 points over Alabama. Florida State, North Alabama. Why do they have that? We got a $100 super chat coming from John Blaze as well. North Alabama for Florida State, and at Florida, a Florida team that just gave up 600 yards to one player, the LSU quarterback, this past Saturday. So I don't see Florida State losing in the regular season, but they do then have the ACC championship game. Looks like it's going to be against Louisville. John Blaze coming in with the super chat. Michigan will be number 2. Love my Michigan family. Keep up the good work, Yoder. See you in Maryland, brother. Go Blue Bet. Free Harbaugh. Win over 1,000. OSU sucks. Penn State sucks. Beat Ohio State again. John, hit me in the DMs right now and let me know when you're going to get in, what your plans are. Again, Saturday is an open book for me, so let's make sure we make it happen. John Blaze, get himself another 10 stickers and another 5 spots in the helmet giveaway. And we're at the helmet giveaway. Should we probably do it before too long? Hey, Jack, if anyone wants to get in, let's just say as soon as the rankings come out, we're going to go ahead and do that. So put up that, when you can, Jack, the helmet giveaway total and all that good stuff. Because I'm going to get John Blaze at least his first sticker, as I owe him now $30, as he has contributed $300 in super chats here on the Michigan Football Report. So I owe John Blaze one, and then it was Ashley Lawson, right? Yep. Okay. Ashley Lawson. Cancer-free Ashley Lawson. Big time congrats to you. Wonderful to hear. Obviously, we hope that remains for forever. But we know those things can be something you got to keep your eye on at all times. So, keep living healthy, keep doing what the doctors tell you, and hopefully it stays that way, Ashley. So, got a sticker for Ashley Lawson. Going to put her, given the news, I'm going to put her right in the dead center front of the helmet. So, got right there, Ashley Lawson. Got my guy, John Blaze, right over there. In addition to Jim Prindable, Angela, Mike Layton, Lord Buddy Bear, Dominic Franchillo, Steve Mers, Jim Prindable 4 times, 3 times, James Strange, or 5 times for Prindable, Cool Moti from last week. Cool Moti was this week. All right, we're at $549. So we have hit the $450 mark. So we're going to give you guys about 15, 20 more minutes. Anyone who wants to send a $20 Venmo at James-Yoder-1 or $20 Super Chat, we will put you in the raffle and give away one of these Michigan football helmets. We already sent this one to somebody. Was it John Blaze? It might have been Blaze. Blaze already got one. All right, Blaze, you're going to have to get one. Maybe he'll so Chris got another 20 coming in. Wow, so we got quite a few here, Jack. So we got James Strange with another 20. James Strange with the second one. We've got Corey Mankins, that's Corey. Mankins, Mankins. And Ashley Lawson with a 70-piece. We're just going to give her 4. We're going to round up for her. Okay? 70-piece. So 4 entries more for Ashley Lawson. That gives her what? That's 7, right? She'll have. And then Chris Joyce, Joyce with a 20. So we're going to do a helmet giveaway. And look, we might do a second giveaway because we've surpassed that 540 number. And, Jack, that was an extra 70. I just want to make sure we've had it. And there's $50 from Ashley Lawson. She said in the super chat. So 3 more for her, Jack. We're going to round up for Ashley given the news. So that was 20, 70. So, by the way, Corey Mankins, that was 2 entries for him. He was a 40 spot. So 60, 70, 130, Ashley 20. So 150 in Venmos came through just now. So 150 plus what the super chat number is at for Ashley Lawson. $50 super chat. So Ashley has a bunch of entries. John Blaze have a bunch of entries. And we've got quite a few more. Jack will update that as we go through the show. A minute 22 left in this game. Duke is up 68-58. We are awaiting, Jack. When we toss up this one right here, just make sure people know coming in that we're awaiting the college football top 25 rankings. It's Ashley Lawson, cancer-free, and making a run at maybe this Michigan football helmet giveaway. Thanks so much to Ashley, getting some big news from the University of Michigan Hospital today. Hit that heart button in the chat. Hit that for Ashley, cancer-free, and making a run for this helmet. We are awaiting the top 25 rankings. Another super chat coming in from the Los Angeles. He says, what is the chance that Jim coaches against Ohio State? All right, I think I got uploaded. Let me actually show you really quick. So I just put a video on the Instagram account right before we went live. It's at Michigan Football Report. If anyone wants to go check now and follow, I made it private so people can't jump in. $5 super chat coming from Sam. Sam, we're going to get you a helmet sticker. Later in the show, after the rankings, the first part of the show, after the rankings, we are going to tell you what is going down. There is some very strong intel coming in that I've received that others have now confirmed in some regards. I think I've got a little better intel that Michigan's people are in a three-way negotiations and calls and talks yesterday and then again tomorrow morning over potentially Michigan agreeing to a 2-game suspension if they admit some bad stuff, etc. And the Big Ten then allows Jim Harbaugh to return for Ohio State without having to go through a court proceeding on Friday. If you had to ask me, based on what I've learned in the past 2 or 3 hours, that is the most likely scenario that Michigan admits to some wrongdoing, at least for the Big Ten, not the NCAA. That'll happen after the season. The Big Ten reduces Harbaugh's suspension from 3 games to 2. They avoid the court, and Harbaugh goes and sits out this week against Maryland. I think it's probably the best. All things being equal, not knowing for sure what's going to happen in the court on Friday, I think it's probably the best move Michigan can possibly make. Sam Strupa, again, coming in. He says, a slice of pink super sticker. That's so fun. We got to figure that out. I feel like we got to figure out the super stickers and the software. He sends a piece of cake, birthday cake for us, maybe for somebody else in the show. So, Sam, I'm going to get you on the helmet. So we figured it out, and I'm going to get, what's the date today? 11/14 is we are waiting the college football playoff top 25 rankings. Let me get the Sam one on there, and then what do we have for the rankings? Do we have last week's rankings or anything, Jack, while we're waiting, or what do we have? Sam, you are on the thing. He says, I forgot to type something, LOL. Just want to say, go freaking blue bet. $15 now from Sam, and he is an official Helmets Hard Hat member. You will be immortalized after the season. You're on the Hard Hats. You'll be immortalized after the season on our end screen for the next year. Guys, light up the chats with some Go Blues as we are waiting the top 25 rankings. Michigan State down 8, 69-61. A minute left in that game. So type Go Blue if you are a Michigan football fan. I'm going to get in the chat right now. I got some Ohio State fans saying, cheaters this, cheaters. I got a Roll Tide in there. Puke, 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 puke to some of these Ohio State fans as, what do we got live now? We have 430 people live. We got a chat rate of 16 coming in right now and 72 likes. Jack, what are we doing likes the last couple live shows, last 2 weeks? We should have a goal there to try and beat that today. Light up the Go Blues. We got 51 seconds left in this one. I'm going to take a sip of water. Remember, anyone who puts in a $20 Venmo or Super Chat, I'm going to raffle this helmet off. How are we going to do the raffle? We're just going to do the spin of the wheel? Let me know, John Blaze, Ashley, do you guys want to do duck race or you want to do a spin of the wheel and some other people that are in there? Cool. You have to show the list when we get a chance. So let me know what you guys want to do. Do we want to do a wheel spin where they have all the names on there and it stops, or the electric duck race from last week? Let me know what you guys are thinking. I'll let Blaze and Ashley, they got the 2 biggest ones right now, right? They got the most entries. I'll let you guys decide. So let me know in the live chat. Hit the Go Blue. Yep, last 3 live shows, by the way. Last week we had 158 live likes on the live show. Today we got 82. 2 weeks ago when I wasn't live, but they still went live without me, had to take my kid trick-or-treating, we did 123. So we're way on pace to beat at least 2 weeks ago, and I think we are going to beat last week's as well. So make sure you guys like the video. Get those Go Blues in there. I see Becky and Chad in the chat. I see Sanjay in the chat. John says spin the wheel. Did John check? He wasn't here for those duck races were electric, but I'll go with it. We will spin the wheel. Is the word from John Blaze, our super chat MVP. Sean, I see Sean Isham in the chat. Darren Brown. Michigan's margin of victory in common opponents 155 to Ohio's 116 against the 5 common opponents. Spin the wheel from John again. I see Michael, Ducky, Jason Rinkers in the chat. Ken Kenyon is back in the house. What's up, Ken? Good to see you. Marcus Aurelius Maximus, he says, what's all this hype about Vegas hiring the firm that investigated Michigan undercover the Sallis guy? I don't think it's accurate, at least at this time, but we will see how things shake out over the next few days. All right, let's take a look at some comparisons. Ohio State, Michigan, as we are 11 days away from the game, 34 seconds of game time away from maybe these top 25 rankings coming out. Get those bets in the chat, right? Support Michigan players. Bet in the chat right now. Michigan's got the number 46 ranked offense in college football, but the number 1 defense in total defense and number 1 in scoring defense. But Ohio State isn't far behind. This is a battle of 2 of the best defenses, maybe the 2 best defenses up there with Iowa, Georgia, Penn State even in all of college football. Both teams have struggled at times this year offensively. I think Michigan's struggles really didn't occur until the Penn State game when they couldn't get much of a pass protection, had to go to a running game the entire way. Travis Beckley coming in with a first-time super chatter, getting 2 stickers on the hard hat, and Steve Richard's got a $100 super chat as well. We might have to give 2 helmets away, Jack. I'm not sure. We got a first-time super chat. Trevoris, I'm sorry, not Travis. Trevoris Beckley, you are getting 2 stickers on the hard hat and an entry into the Michigan football helmet giveaway. Let me get your sticker as we await the Michigan State Duke BLEY. He's got two stickers. And then we got, let me get Steve's in there. Steve is a hard hat member as well in the past. The $100 super chat, let me get his right. Steve, I've got 10 stickers coming up for you, but I'm just going to put 1 on there right now. Type the bets in the super chats, or type the bet in the chat. Steve, that 100 is putting you right in the front of the helmet with John Blaze and Ashley Lawson. I'm going to get my guy Trevoris Beckley on there as well. Got a couple more coming for both of you guys, 9 more for Steve. So got you guys on the helmet right there. Got Ashley, got Steve, got Travis on the front of the helmet with Sam, John Blaze, Cool Moti, Jim Printable a few times, James Strange, Steve Mers, Dominic Franchillo. James and Dominic, we need you guys. I need to hear from you guys. I got some giveaways from you guys from last week. Lord Buddy Bear, Ashley Lawson again, Mike Layton. No, it was Mike Layton. I'm sorry. Mike Layton and Dominic and Angela today coming in with the super chat. Type bet into the chat. Toss the scoreboard up when we get a chance, Jack, and let's make sure people know what we're waiting for. We've got to wait for Michigan State to lose to Duke. It would be their 2nd loss of the year already. That's I was here wait for football season. Wait for football season. Wait for football season. Well, I've been waiting. Not sure if Michigan State fans like what they are seeing. Type bet in the chat. We've had a nice chat rate spike, Jack. You see that one? We got up to the last one, 87 chats per minute. I think at some point we have to get 100. Under 15 seconds left in this game. Yep. Type little brother in the chat. Michigan State loses again, and Michigan's basketball team is looking a heck of a lot better than people expected this year. They've got 3 wins under their belt. Little brother in the live chat. We're at $583 in super chats, and we got Chris Joyce, Ashley Lawson, Corey Mankins, James Strange in the Venmo, who are all on this helmet giveaway. So, Jack, update those numbers and you get a chance to show people where we're at. It was, I think, James Strange sending another 10 more from Strange. That's not enough for another helmet sticker, James. So, if you do 10 after that, 10 more gets you a second entry on the helmet. So, right now, Jack, in the Venmo, we have so 30, 100, 160 plus what's on the YouTube dashboard. Okay, 5 plus 160. I think the number is. Where are you getting the 865 from? Oh, because we had last week's too. Oh, yeah, last week's were in there. So we were at $865, including the $140 from last week. So we have hit the number. I'll tell you what, we get to 1,000, so another $135. We'll do a second helmet raffle giveaway. So that'll be exciting. We are waiting the top 25 rankings. Jack, let's focus on this for a little bit, and then we can get things going. So who will be number one in the rankings when they come out? We got hard hat helmets all around. Michigan, Ohio State, or Georgia. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Michigan, Ohio State, or Georgia. Number one in the college football playoff. Third top 25 rankings. I think we have three more after this. We got one next Tuesday, the Tuesday after that, and then the Sunday after the Big Ten and the conference championship game. So a lot of M's coming in there. Quite a few G's, though. I think those are the two that we should keep our eyes on. I don't think it's going to be anybody else, my personal opinion. But, I think we're just going to find out over the next few minutes here and see what happened to my live chat. Okay, there it is. M, O, or G. I will give some shout-outs here. David Torrey saying Ohio State. Scott Christian with a little bro. I appreciate you, Scott. M's coming in from Nick Barbier. A-Train132, what up? P. Brunette says M. Josh Sherwood, go blue, and M. Carl Cordell, just a legend of the show, Michigan. Got some G's in there. Ashley Lawson says Michigan if she had her way. Cody says Georgia. I think it's okay to say Georgia because it's probably most likely, but I'm hoping it's Michigan. Michigan hasn't been number one in 25 years, right? January of 1998 was the last time Michigan was ranked number one. Has never been number one, of course, in the college football playoff rankings. Ward Manuel is in the house in Dallas, about 25 minutes away, but we have a CFP alternate representative outside the door, handing Jack envelopes we could put up on screen. College football playoff top 25. M, O, or G. What do you think, Jack? Who's going to be top 25 in yours? You should go on screen, Jack.
Here I come. I'm on my way.
Yeah.
Little Harbaugh.
Little Harbaugh. We got young Harbaugh. We got little Harbaugh. Jack's going to go with a little floating cam above my head. I'll have him on screen for a little bit of the show. Waiting the top 25 rankings. There he is.
Okay. So I was talking to super producer Brett earlier, and I was like, Michigan, I don't know. I think Georgia will be number one.
Yep.
Just because they completely dismantled number 9 Ole Miss this past weekend. Handedly. If Michigan had handedly, and they did, but like to the point of like a Georgia, if they had handedly beat Penn State on the road, there's an argument. What I do think will happen, and everyone's calling me crazy in the office, but what I think will happen is Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Ohio State drops to 3.
That's
what I think's going to happen.
People calling you crazy for that? Who's calling you crazy? That's
I don't know. People were talking.
All right, people are talking. I had a $5 super chat coming in from Vaughn Moore. It says, we are about to reveal the top 25. Vaughn says something kind of crazy. I don't know about this, Vaughn, but we'll take the question. $5 super chat. Thank you so much to Vaughn. Add 5 to the total, Jack. We're up to 870. No one is talking about it, but this scandal may help with the draft. What NFL GM wouldn't want to draft these kids? Mental toughness means a lot. So I take it back. John Blaze, the $150. Let me stand this one. John Blaze. Bam! All right, stand this one. I read it wrong. I thought you said the opposite. But you're saying it will help Michigan players in the draft. I was actually thinking you were saying who would want to draft these kids because, they were involved in a scandal. Okay, I get that, Vaughn. So maybe not as the question I thought it was. I can see that, right? They played under adversity. They had to play with multiple coaches in one season. Michigan's had 5 different head coaches, right? The first 3 games, Harbaugh, then this one. I can see that. So that's a pretty good assessment, Vaughn. And when they interview with the Combine at Michigan's Pro Day, tell me about the biggest adversity you faced as a football player. You got it right here. Hell of an answer. Really good insight from Vaughn Morris. I think first-time super chatter. And we got a $150 super chat coming in from John Blaze. Bam! Whoa, John, you were on a heater today, John Blaze. He says, beat the Ninja Turtles. He's talking about Maryland, the Terrapins, for win number 1,000, Michigan football. First team to 1,000 in any level of football, right? Harbaugh said it yesterday. The Packers have like 700 some win. Valdosta High School in Georgia, one of the great high school football programs, has something like 800 wins. Michigan's about to have 1,000 wins, the first major program in pro college high school ever to have 1,000 wins. John Blaze might get to $1,000 before Michigan gets to 1,000 wins.
He missed last week. He's making up for lost time.
He's making up for lost time. No doubt about it. John Blaze coming in. Ashley Lawson, thank you. Saying thank you with what? Yep. Whoa. So we're going to do 2 helmets. Let's do 2 helmets. Jack, why don't you spend some time, just toss me up there with the college football playoff, awaiting those rankings. Make sure you get everybody who's deserving a raffle in there so we can be ready to do first helmet raffle as soon as things roll. I think John Blaze has got himself, I don't know. He's got quite a few, right? Yeah. All right, so best thing for Michigan, which would never play Georgia again. Remember last time? Look, last year Michigan was given a little bit of a gift. Let's toss the CFP lower third up for me, rankings. Ed, you are cheating. Stop it, Ed. You just get out of here, Ed. Last year, Michigan got the gift of all gifts in the college football playoff. They had the chance to take on TCU, the weakest entry into the CFP that we've seen in the now 10 years of the college football playoff. They lost the game. Whether it was a counter stallions thing, I don't think, or it was overconfidence, is what I actually think it was, and lack of preparation. They might have been preparing for Georgia. They might have been preparing for Ohio State. I don't know if they're going to get that again, but I hope no matter who comes out of the SEC, that's not who Michigan's faced up against, if Michigan, of course, makes the CFP themselves, which I think they will. I'm hoping it's Michigan versus Florida State or Texas. Those would be the two I'd want to. As Jack, the top 25 is start rolling in. They just opened the door. They hand us the envelope. We have 25 through 21. It is the Kansas Jayhawks. They are coming in at number 25. They've got a big game. I think they're playing Kansas State this week. Tulane is in number 24 spot. They drop a spot. Kansas lost this past week, right? And they dropped 9 spots. They were up inside the top 20 last week. Oklahoma State and Utah and Kansas State. Kansas State, right? They've had a couple really close losses this year. They might be regretting some of those losses later on in the year. They could have been maybe a game or two away from making the CFP or going back to back. We're inside the top 20 now. North Carolina, Notre Dame. Now that's going to help Ohio State, right? Notre Dame with 3 losses being at number 19. That will help Ohio State. Georgia's going to face Tennessee. They've got 3 losses coming up on Saturday. Arizona, and then Iowa, who has only 2 losses. Now we're inside the top 15. LSU coming in at 15. These are coming in hot and heavy, fast and furious. We're going to give away a helmet here in a few minutes. Oklahoma, right? They've had a really tough run of it. Ole Miss, Penn State, Oregon State. Did I see Oklahoma State? Are they in there at all so far? Did I miss them? I mean, they beat Oklahoma and they lost 45-3 to Central Michigan. What a joke of a turnaround they have. They were on a heater, beat their rival in Bedlam, and then they lose 45-3 to Central Florida. $5 coming in from P. Brunette 32. We'll get to that one in just a moment. Let's make sure we show LSU, Oklahoma. Ole Miss drops from 9 down to 13. Now, Penn State's number 12. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if they should be ranked less than Oregon State, although Oregon State's got the chance to win a game against Washington. I think Penn State should be number 11, but Oregon State's either going to prove it or drop this week against Washington. We're going to go inside the top 10 here in a moment. We'll go to P. Brunette's comment, $5 super chat, right when we get inside of the top 6. So we'll give you 10 through 7 right now. Louisville is number 10. They've got an outside chance. Of these next few teams, they got an outside chance with 1 loss, Louisville does, to make it to the ACC championship game. They need probably a loss or 2 that we're not expecting in other conferences, as they will be the lowest rated conference champion, I believe, even if they beat Florida State, but they could still sneak in with 1 loss. Missouri, though, is at number 9. The Missouri Tigers, they played a decent game. They played a decent game against Georgia a couple weeks ago. But at 8-2, they come in at number 9. Thomas Berry, we're going to get you on the hard hat helmet, and you got an entry for the raffle. We're going to give away 2 Michigan football helmets. So we got you there coming with a $20 super chat. As Louisville is number 9, Missouri is number 10. Missouri is number 9. Thomas Berry, let me get you a sticker as we are waiting the rest. Alabama, number 8. All right, Thomas, we got you on there. We'll get your question in just one moment. So it's Louisville, Missouri 9, Alabama 8. We'll get those on there. Thomas Berry, whoop, got you, my man, right there on the hard hat. We are rocking and rolling. Louisville, Missouri, Alabama. Now it's going to get interesting. Now it will be, and that's a good comment there from John Pitts. Now Georgia's beat 2 top 10 teams, right? So I think that might, well, did they? So Missouri, they beat, who's the other one? Am I missing here? I don't know, John. Who's the other one that Georgia beat? I'm not have their schedule in front of me at the exact moment, but they certainly beat Missouri. I don't know who the other one is at this time. Oh, maybe beat a top 10 team when they played them, not necessarily right now, is probably what you mean, because they beat Ole Miss, but Ole Miss dropped out. Okay, so you mean, okay, I got you, Ole Miss. I thought you meant right now, 2 current top 10 teams, so you're correct in that. There you go. We got it updated there. Missouri, Alabama, and Texas. That's going to be the one that's going to shake things up. If Alabama, as we wait for the top 6, is Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC championship game, which is not crazy to think about. That can happen. Alabama's playing great football lately. And Texas wins the next 3 games, right? Gets maybe a rematch against Oklahoma or whoever comes out of the Big 12. It might be a tiebreaker, and it would shake out that way. But Texas gets into the Big 12 title game, wins that one. Would they keep out, if it came down to 4 and 5, was Alabama and Texas, right? If that's what happened, given that in this scenario, of course, Washington, Oregon, one of them is going to lose. Ohio State, Michigan, one of them is going to lose. Ohio State, and then Georgia would lose to Alabama. Those would be potentially 4 and 5. Would they leave out Alabama, SEC champions, on like a 10 or 11 game winning streak for Texas, who beat them head to head in Tuscaloosa? I think they should, but we know how things work with these ratings and how much the SEC gets the advantage. I'm waiting for the top 6. Let's take a look at a couple of super chats coming in from P. Brunette 32 says, how do you feel about TCU admitting they stole Michigan signs last year for the CFP? Did they actually admit it? It maybe. I don't feel good about it. We'll come back to this question here in a second as we are getting the top 6 in the door. If they admitted it, I guess you're talking about last week when they said they got contacted from other schools, whether that's information gathering or sign stealing. Tough to say, but we'll come back to T. Brunette. It is a Pac-12 5 and 6. So we know the top 4 in some order is going to be Florida State, Ohio State, Georgia, and Michigan. I think the only interesting part is what's going to happen. Florida State's going to come in at number 4, is my opinion, and looks like I think they will. We'll push it as soon as it is official. Who's going to be number 3? Is it going to be Michigan again? Or is Ohio State going to drop from 1 to 4? They didn't do anything bad in the field. They dominated Michigan State, but the things they're resting their laurels on, the Penn State victory, Michigan's got one of those, and Michigan went on the road. The Notre Dame victory, well, Notre Dame's lost 3 games right now, so I think that you can make a very strong case that Michigan could jump over Ohio State as we are getting down to 11 days until these teams play in Ann Arbor coming up next Saturday. High noon, Michigan football versus Ohio State. Michigan comes in number 3. All right, so what are we doing? Update that on our end, Jack. Michigan number 3 in the college football playoff. Type boo in the comments. Type boo in the chat. Boo. 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 If Ed does a $20 super chat, I will praise the other state live. I'm not sure what that's about, but there you go. Get the boos in the chat. Let's see if we can get 100 people to type boo right now. Boo. Boo. Ohio State. I hope they don't remain number 1, but we will find out here. I don't think they deserve it at this point, but they might. We'll see. Michigan coming in at number 3. Type the boos. Everyone type in boos right now. Ed, the Ohio State fan, let's get you a $20 super chat, and somebody's going to do something crazy. Corey saying boo. John Blaze saying boo. Angela's giving me a boo. Eric, Rick. And coming in hot, Ohio State falls from 2 to number 1 to number 2, and Georgia is now number 1. So it will not be a 1 versus 2. It won't be a 1 versus 3. If Georgia takes care of business this weekend at Tennessee, they will remain number 1. Michigan, Ohio State will be a 2-3 matchup, assuming those 2 schools take care of business this Saturday. Michigan's going on the road to Maryland. Ohio State's got their season, their home finale, home against Minnesota. Grade the committee rankings. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going like a C-. I think Michigan has been more dominant in the field. They've got better head-to-head wins, and the only thing they could possibly be putting on this is that Ohio State beat Notre Dame. But Michigan's been more dominant, and you've got the eye test. And you've got all the stats. Everything that you should grade Michigan versus Ohio State now. Michigan got through it in Penn State. And understand that Michigan didn't have their head coach. They found out less than 24 hours. That's got to matter for someone. That's the intangibles, the eye test, the strength of schedule, the win against Penn State. The only thing Ohio State has against all that is their Notre Dame game. And Notre Dame right now is a 3-loss team, folks. So I don't agree with these rankings at all. I think it should be Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Ohio State 3. I guess it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But I think there's an argument that could be made that Michigan could jump up to number 1 if they beat Ohio State. Number 2, Ohio State, convincingly, they could jump up over Georgia. Although if Georgia then beats Alabama the following week, then I guess that Georgia would then maybe flip-flop with Michigan. So that's just what it is. Ohio State number 2, Georgia 3, Michigan. Ohio State 2, Georgia 1, Michigan 3, Florida State 4. Give me a grade for these rankings. Bradwick saying F- easily. Ohio State should be 4. We should be 2. Florida State should be 3. Maybe that's maybe a good take from Jeffrey. Rick is where saying no way to leave out the SEC champ, but will they? Ashley Lawson coming in with another $50 super chat. I think we have another super chat to go to as well. A few. Let's go to those. Give me your rankings in the committee rankings A, B, C, D, or F. Give me a grade for those. Let's go through a few super chats. Then we're going to talk some Jim Harbaugh. Got some inside scoop on this week, what's going to happen, and what is happening now and tomorrow morning. You're going to want to stick around for that. Get to these super chats, and then we'll turn that, and we're going to give away a helmet as soon as Jack can get all the names entered into the Wheel of Fun. Thomas Berry saying, Yoder, how great would it be the final rankings where Michigan won? Let me see. Jack, I'm so blind at this point. I've just got to, yeah. That'd be good. Michigan, Texas, a preview of next year, right? September 7th in the Big House. If J.J. McCarthy and Quinn Ewers come back, you've got the top 2 quarterbacks in the 2025 NFL draft. But I would love that one. I think both from a rematch, it'll be out with the Rose Bowl probably, the rematch of that 2004 Vince Young last-second field goal to win it. I would love that one. I would love Michigan to play Florida State. I would love them to play Texas. We probably 1-2. Actually, Alabama, although it doesn't feel like you should want to play Alabama, I think Michigan match up well against Alabama. I'm concerned a little bit with Oregon. I think Michigan could beat Washington as well. Georgia, I'm still a little bit uncertain about what Georgia really is, if they're just more talented, but do they have the execution and the ability to score points that past year's Georgia teams? I think it's been hit or miss. Thank you so much for Thomas Berry. Thomas has got himself an entry for 2 helmet giveaways, and you got yourself a helmet sticker 1, and we've got another one coming for you after the show. Ashley Lawson coming back with another super chat. Ashley just got some great news. Cancer-free from the University of Michigan Hospital. Now she super chat us. Here's all the haters. You'll never be as cool as us, and that's okay. We can't all be. Rankings don't mean shit. Proof is on the field. Bosa, bet. What a great chat right there, Ashley Lawson. We give you. We owe you probably about 8 or 10 helmet stickers now, but I'm gonna give you one. And I feel like it's bad live video to try and write, a bunch at once. So we always get one on for people, and then we do the rest afterwards. So Ashley Lawson, another one. She's got quite a few more coming. The Lost Angels. The Lost Angels, the $5 super chat. Is that the second super chat of this show, $5? So I'm going to get Lost Angels on the helmet as well. So give me a second to get him or her the Lost Angels. That's right. Is a helmet hard hat recipient. Jack, I want to make sure the people, the new viewers especially, understand what the hard hat means. Why don't we play the video? Anyone does a $10 super chat, Hard Hat Club, show the Hard Hat Club, and then when you get a chance, and then we'll play the video. Anybody who's got the hard hat, you get immortalized on these helmets. We'll do the whole list from time to time, and then you get immortalized on the end screen of our show after this season is over. So he says they'll never put Michigan number 1 over South teams. Ohio State will always get the nod. Of course, it is Ohio State. Yeah, pretty good take. Pretty good analysis there. I don't think there's anything to argue with there from the Lost Angels, who is now a Hard Hat member. If Alabama beats Georgia and Michigan beats Ohio State, would that move Michigan to 1 and would Georgia fall in the top 4? I mean, that's the billion-dollar question, right? As long as Washington doesn't lose, which they could the next 2 weeks, then you're going to have a 1-loss Oregon, revenge against Washington. I think the winner of that game gets in, but if it's Oregon, maybe they don't get in against Alabama or Texas, right? Florida State, if they're undefeated, they're in. The Michigan-Ohio State winner undefeated is in. I think it could come down to maybe, in a crazy world, if Washington loses to Oregon, Texas, Alabama, plus Florida State and Michigan, or Ohio State maybe, and 2 of those 3 conference champions will get in, and 1 will get out. Texas with a head-to-head win against Alabama. I think it could see a situation where Alabama and Texas get in. Oregon gets left out, but I think Oregon's playing as good a football as anyone in the country right now. We got some more Harbaugh news and insight into what's going to happen over the next 3 days. I want to tell you guys about the Hard Hat Club. Anyone who sends in a $10 super chat or a $10 Venmo, I should add those Venmos in. I haven't done yet. So I'll add the Venmo helmets here in a moment. Hard Hat Club. And then after the season is over, after National Signing Day in February, we will refresh the end screen. So if you wait to the end of our videos, you will see the end screen. Here is the one now. The 40 people from last November, December, up through March when we did live shows last year that were in the Hard Hat Club as we launched it, kind of the inaugural, we're calling them the producers. Jack, you ready? Roll that video. Yeah, interesting. So there you go. All the people who have gotten the hard hat today will end up on that same video. It's the end of all of our videos. Almost like 90% of our videos we're putting on these days. At the end of the year, Thomas Berry is another $10 super chat from Thomas Berry, and we got one from Nick. First time super chatter from Nick. Nick, you are getting yourself 2 stickers, and you are entered into the 2 helmet raffle giveaways we're going to do coming up here in a moment. Let me get in there from Nick. Big beep, Nick. Nick, let me get you on the helmet. And he says, hopefully, I'm just going to read it over here. Gosh. So what would have to happen for that? For Ohio State to backdoor it? Of course, they have to lose to Michigan, which they will. Nick, I got you right there next to the 2 Michigan logos on the helmet. You are immortalized, and you will now be on the end screen come March.
They would need like a lot of help because the consensus right now is whoever loses that game isn't going to get in.
Correct.
So,
but that was the consensus last year, right? Then you had,
you need chaos.
USC lost. I can't remember who else lost last year off the top of my head. But let's kind of break it down here right now. I think you'd have to.
Well, you had Bama beat Georgia in the SEC champ. Well, no, but they made it though, and they won.
That was 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah. So last year was Kansas State, who of course beat TCU, but TCU still got in because you ended up having the Pac-12 and the ACC champions all had multiple losses, so you kind of had to have somebody from conference. So I think what would have to happen, Texas has to lose one of the last 2 games. Maybe we can take a look at who those last 2 games are, Jack, here in a second. And then they would have to, it doesn't matter after that. Texas loses, they've got 2 losses. Boom, you're out. Alabama probably has to lose to Auburn, right? And then beat Georgia. But Georgia still might get in that regard since they're number 1. So Georgia could still get in that loss, even if they played a 2-loss to Alabama. And then I think you probably have to have Washington. That's really tough to say. Washington lose a game, and then I don't know. It'd just be tough to say. I still think they're going to put in a 1-loss conference champion over 1-loss Ohio State, right? So you probably need at least 2 or 3. You need Alabama to lose to Auburn, and I think you probably need Oregon and Washington maybe both lose a game, or Oregon lose a game, and then win the Pac-12 for you to only have 3 conference champions with 1 loss or less, maybe Texas as well, and then you could potentially get a second team in. I think it's way unlikely this year, like it happened last year when TCU and USC lost in their conference championship game when they both had a shot to get into the CFP. Thomas Barrett coming in. He says, they're too righteous to bump Ohio State down to number 3 this week after having them number 1, especially knowing they'll put the winner of the game number 1 in 2 weeks. Let's pregame at Maryland. Thomas, DM me on Twitter at James Yoder. It's at James Yoder on Twitter. DM me, and I'll try and see if we can sync up. I don't have any plans at this point for pregame or even postgame, so let me know where you will be, and me, you, John Blaze will maybe be get it going, rocking and rolling. I owe Thomas another sticker or 2, so we'll get those on there after the show. Crazy Hands coming in. He says, put in my son's name, Dino. So Dino is getting one. Dino. So make sure, Jack, notate that so Dino goes on the end screen menu. Okay? So Dino's getting one on the helmet. As we're going to talk Jim Harbaugh. Latest on Jim Harbaugh here in 1 second. So thanks for bearing with us. We get to these super chats. I'm putting Dino, since it's the son, I'm putting him right over here, right next to the Michigan logo, and he will be on the end screen. Dino, whoop, there you are, my man. Thanks so much for the super chats for your son. Really appreciate that. Contributing to the show a ton. Do we have everybody in there, Jack? We have everybody in there. Let me check Venmo one more time. Make sure we didn't have any. So, okay, Chris Joyce came in with another 5. Oh, we talked about that one. So now we got Chris. Okay, I think so. You got Chris. You got Bill Graves 10. So Bill is getting a helmet sticker. Bill 10 more. You get on the 2 helmet giveaways if you want it on there, baby. The Big House crowd dressed up as black and white I Spy characters for the funny thought. Big House, I like this one. So he's saying, funny thought, instead of a maze out or blue out or wearing Michigan gear, you wear black and white I Spy characters because the whole Connor Stallion spying as a knock to Ohio State. I think That's a good one. You could also have everyone dress up like the Hamburglar, right?
Or you could like have everyone suit up like James Bond and be like an international spy.
I like that. International spy, young Harbaugh. Jackie, you are on the screen. I was gonna say, I get you on the screen.
Oh, I'm chilling up here.
You're
I'm just hanging.
Little Harbaugh, young little Harbaugh. John Stoops says Michigan's the number 1 team this year. Who else can run 33 straight times and win? Michigan. That's who. That's their play. Try to stop it. I mean, look, it was such a relief to see Michigan finally being able to run the ball after what I think has been a struggle all year long. We ready? Ashley,
I will add a point to that running 33 times.
Yep.
Like, everyone was like there were people in the office, and this argument was ridiculous. They're like, oh, well, obviously Sharon Moore doesn't trust JJ, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no. They wanted to challenge Penn State. They said, we're going to run down your throat, and you have to stop us. Yeah. And you can't.
Reminded me a lot of 2009 Stanford USC. You know, Stanford was a little guy. This Andrew Luck's redshirt freshman year. They did the same thing. They ran like 30-plus times, and they just kept off tackle, and just pummeled them. And they couldn't stop it. And so why would you? But look, JJ went 7 of 8 in the first half for 60 yards. But that pass rush coming out of the offside was pretty dangerous. Penn State has a dangerous pass rush. I don't think it was didn't trust JJ. We've seen what he's done all year. I think it was, why risk it? We know Penn State can't score in our elite all-time Big Ten best ever defense. If we can run and get 3, 5, 6, 20 yards a pop, what are you going to make any change for? I think I agree with the game plan, although it probably ended J.J. McCarthy's Heisman candidacy. $2 super chat, and we will then do the first giveaway. He says, if Georgia loses, Georgia or Oregon? It's a good question. I mean, it would be 1 loss Georgia, loss Alabama, versus 1 loss Oregon in this scenario. I'm guessing Big 12 champions. I think if they lose to Alabama, Alabama is going to get in that scenario, I think, over Oregon. So I think Oregon, if it came down to them, you'd have to have one other loss in there somewhere. I think Oregon gets in, so the top 5 would then be Michigan, Ohio State winner, Florida State, Alabama, and then Oregon, I think, in that scenario.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because I was going to say it depends on where Washington's ranked, but in this scenario, Oregon beats Washington, so that loss isn't as good for the resume, whereas the Texas loss might be better for Bama, so, yeah.
Ooh, yeah, man. Did I forget Texas in that scenario? So, in that scenario, you never know. Maybe nobody gets in, because in that scenario, I forgot about Texas. You'd have Ohio State, Michigan winner, Florida State undefeated. Then you're going to have Oregon, Georgia, Texas, Alabama with 1 loss. You got 6 teams. So, yeah, well, I don't think they would get in over a team in their own conference. So, I think in that scenario, I think it's Florida State, Michigan, Ohio State winner. I mean, you even have the Michigan, Ohio State loser, right? They have 1 loss. Florida State, Big Ten champion, SEC. I don't know. That's so tough to even think about.
It all comes down to resume and what loss is the best loss, I guess. And you can argue Bama with Texas depending on where they're ranked, but I'm not sure.
I think in that scenario they want to put Alabama in, they can't do, they leave out Texas. It would be Ohio State, Michigan winner, which would be Michigan, Florida State, assuming they go undefeated, Alabama and Texas. That would be the 4. And I think Michigan would be number 1 in that scenario, and Alabama would probably be number 4, given that they lost to Texas in that scenario. Thanks so much for the super chat to the Los Angeles. We got a ton more show to go, guys. We haven't even got into the core of today's show. We're going to give a helmet away. You guys ready to do a helmet? Type me. Once we get 50 people to type me, we're going to give away a helmet. So type me in the comments. Let's get 50 me's in the comments, and then we're going to do that. I'm having it's 9:45 in the East. I'm going to drink. Nick says me. We need 49 more me's, and then we will start, give away a helmet, and then get into the real part of the show. Jack, what do you do, chance while we're getting away from the me's? Me from Angela. Thank you so much, Angela. We got John Stoops. We got Death Nasty, Thomas Berry, Logan Zirkle, Angela, John Blaze, Jeff Deloach. Toss my Instagram account up on there. The show's Instagram account on the lower third if we can. Richard Lacoco, Bears fan number 1, Travoris Beckley, Angela Watlife, Slick, Thomas Berry, go Ashley. Angela Callow with a question. He says Georgia should have lost OSU last year. They probably should have, but look, Ohio State didn't execute. Slick, Robert Prowler, 20 more people. We need to say me, and then we're going to do the Harbaugh inside scoop and give away at least 1 helmet right now. Sounds like chaos if Georgia loses from the Los Angeles. Totally agree with that. It'll be absolutely chaos. The CFP is hoping that Georgia beats Alabama to keep the whole Alabama-Texas thing out of there. Ashley Lawson, oh my God, OMG, me please. Bill Graves, Slick again. Brad LaRochelle. Need 5 more me's from 5 different people. Slick, I appreciate you. Keep it going. I need 5 more different people as well. Thomas Berry, me. I got you. 4 more me's. We'll do 4 more. We'll count Thomas's, even though he did one up there. Jack, no more me's. Okay. I'm Angela. Okay, Angela. I'm boycotting. A-Train. 2 more me's. Elijah. Slick, we're not counting yours. Slick, appreciate it. Keep it going, Slick. But we got 1 more me, and then we're doing the giveaway, helmet giveaway. 1. There we go. Adrian right there with the me. Okay. We ready? So how many, Jack, do you want to tell the people how many entries we got and list all the names off?
Okay, we have 67 raffle tickets. Mm-hmm. Jim Prindable, John Blaze, James Strange.
If they have more than one, say how many they have.
Oh, I have a list of them, and I kind of broke some of them up.
Okay.
So
Jim, what's his name? John Blaze is probably
John Blaze is clear favorite.
Right?
Yeah,
okay.
He's got like.
Got it.
So we've got Jim Prindable, John Blaze, James Strange, Ashley Lawson. We've got Cool Moti, Corey Mankins, Angela, Chris Joyce, Thomas Berry, Trevorius Beckley, Steve Reichart, Nick, and that's it. Oh,
that's it. Oh, there you go.
There we go.
All right, you guys ready? We're going to do this. Whoever gets this one is getting the first Michigan football helmet. A lot of vibes on there for Ashley. John Blaze has the most entries and quite a few others. So let's see who's going to get this Michigan football helmet. By the way, whoever wins it, just either comment on today's video from earlier today or DM me on Twitter or Instagram like right away so I can get your address. John Blaze, I've got your address from past winners. But if it's not him, let me know. I want to get this helmet out to you guys ASAP. Jack, you ready? Roll that wheel. Steve Richard? Steve Richard with the win. Okay, Steve. There you go. John says if I wins, give mine to Ashley. There you go, John. I wish, I appreciate that. And if you would have won, I'm glad. But Steve won before we saw that. And there. So Steve Richard, Steve, if you want to put in the comments, I'll DM you to make that. If you want to put your Instagram or Twitter link in the comments, we're going to send Steve a helmet. What do you guys want to do? Should we do one more giveaway now, or do you want to wait till we'll do the Harbaugh stuff first? First 5 people to type now or later for the second giveaway. Let me know. Give it to Ashley Creates. If 100 people type Ashley, we'll just declare her the winner. All right, Steve's going to DM me on Instagram. Thank you, Steve. All right. Got now. Jack, is it easy to transport this over to race, or is that like a totally separate thing? Okay. We're going to do the second one in a duck race. No, go-kart race. Go-kart race. All right, go-kart race. Yep, do it now. All right. Okay, we are going to do a go-kart race here in a moment. A lot of consensus for people saying they want to give to Ashley. I do too. We gotta be fair. We're gonna do this one. We're gonna do a go-kart race. Let's get some Go Blues as Jack's loading up the go-kart race. We're gonna do a go-kart race of all the people who did that. Take out Steve. We want to that kind of thing. Pull out Steve Richard. Because he won that one, and we will get going with the rest of the folks. Go Blue from Richard. We got Matt Lapointe. Go Blue from Watt Life. Hey, got Watt Life, a Georgia fan, but he's saying Go Blue in the comments. Zaire, go-kart. We're going to do the go-kart. Bill saying give it to Ashley. Stuart Yeager, Yoder Rocks. Appreciate you, Stuart. Steve Richard, Go Blue. Angela, the Go Blue. Travis. You say Travis. Trevoris. My bad, Trevoris. Go Blue as well. Elijah, Angela, Stuart, Death Dynasty, and Jack Webster. As we are going to do one more race, one more helmet giveaway. We are going to do a go-kart race as producer Jack, a.k.a. Young Harbaugh. You see him right above my head. Where is he at? Right there, entering into the duck race. You can stay there, Jack. You don't mind. People don't mind seeing a man at work. Type Go Blue, and then we're going to talk some Jim Harbaugh. I'll have to give you guys insight, right? I'm going to do an entire segment about this in a few moments, but I'll give you some insight thank you for everyone waiting on this. What up? What happened? Oh, baby, there you go. 1 second before we go to this. That is all the people, right? all the people. As Jack is over top of it. You can go to the race if you want. So stick around for the full story in a second. But here's what we know is there is a lot of negativity around whether or not Michigan's actually going to get this temporary restraining order on Friday. I think I would call it 50-50 from people in and around these things. And the Big Ten and Tony Petitti is getting pressure from Fox. They don't want a game where probably the biggest draw in all of college football these days, Jim Harbaugh, Michigan, is out of their premier game every year. They've got a $100+ million annual contract with the Big Ten. They don't want Jim Harbaugh to miss the game. The Big Ten doesn't want to go to court. They don't want this discovery, all this stuff, and a lawsuit with one of their schools. So all parties are kind of motivated right now to make sure that this court case does not happen, because the outcome for either side probably doesn't even make sense. So the Fox wants Jim Harbaugh on the sideline. Michigan wants Jim Harbaugh on the sideline. The Big Ten wants to suspend Jim Harbaugh for 3 days. I think more likely than not, what I would predict right now is that over the next 48 hours before Friday morning comes, Michigan and the Big Ten make a joint announcement, or one of them makes the announcement, that they are changing the suspension to 2 games in exchange for Michigan admitting to some wrongdoing, although Jim Harbaugh not doing it, to guarantee Harbaugh's on the field against Ohio State, and he'll voluntarily sit out this week against Maryland, a winnable game with or without him. That is that. We're going to go deeper into that in just a moment, but we got a helmet giveaway coming up for this pretty insane race, right, Jack? The people, Jack, we got Ashley Lawson got her diagnosis back from University of Michigan Hospital today, cancer-free again. So there's a lot of support for Ashley to win the helmet. She's got, 8-10 entries in there, right? And Steve Richard just won the first one. So let's get rolling with our duck race. These are electric, right? These are electric. We did the wheel, right? Go-karts, yeah, I should say. You guys ready to go? Let's get it going. Go! We are off to the races here on the Michigan Football Report. They are getting way out there. John Blaze jumping out into first place. Let's keep another John Blaze. John Blaze has like 9 or 10 or 20 entries probably at this point. I got Corey Mankins, Chris Joyce up there. John Blaze, the bottom. I see red John Blaze. It's creeping up, creeping up, creeping up. I got Travoris Beckley at the top of the screen with a slight lead. Travoris, Chris, John Blaze, Corey Mankins. 3 John Blaze at the bottom of the screen. Ashley Lawson creeping on the come up. Ashley creeping on the come up. I see Corey falling back. The Blaze brothers making a play. Travoris Beckley. It's John Blaze who says, I'm going to hit the gas. I'm going to hit the brake. I'm going to go back. John Blaze, the bottom of the screen. He's got it. And down the stretch we come. It's John Blaze by a car length. Behind him is also John Blaze. And John Blaze. Ashley Lawson from the middle of the pack. Ashley the blue. Blue Ashley, pink Ashley, Ashley Lawson! Ashley Lawson for the win! Ashley Lawson for the win! Ashley, give me the Ashleys in the chat. She won it outright. John Blaze didn't have to give it to her. Ashley Lawson, your helmet giveaway winner. Ashley. Jim Prindable, flat tire. I think I didn't see Prindable. He didn't move out of the pack. Ashley Lawson. Ashley, just reply back to me on, I'm going to do, let me see. How do I do this comment? I guess you can't do it. I got to add as a friend. So I am going to accept. If you can comment, which I think you can, but I don't want to do this on a show. See if you can reply back. There we go. I think I can comment it. Ashley, I am replying to one of your Venmos.
That was electric. Ashley, I saw Ashley creeping at the end, and a lot of times with these duck races, they come down to a photo finish. So I was feeling the good mojo there. I was like, is Ashley gonna get it? And she did.
There we go, Ashley. I just commented on your Venmo from today. Just reply back to that in Venmo, so we don't have to make it public, etc. Already got you there. Just give me an address. Ashley and Steve will be getting helmets. Steve says DMing us on Instagram. Ashley, we can keep it right there on Venmo if you want. Guys, Jack, let's update the likes too. Let's see where we're at with the likes per the last show. Make sure you guys like the video. Now we're going to jump into the Jim Harbaugh news. We're also going to do the Penn State preview. We've even got a mailbag, so got a ton of mailbag questions in here, Jack, that we could probably do. Like the video. If you like Jim Harbaugh on the sidelines, don't jinx it. Don't be that guy. Put out the good vibes. Michigan football, number 3 in the country. number 3 in the country, as we are at 167 likes now. We got a few more while you're updating that, Jack, as we've already beat the prior show. So I guess we win. We win the race. As Ashley and Steve are our helmet winners. John Blaze, I mean, we're going to have to make it up for you on Saturday, John. We'll have some fun at the Michigan-Maryland game. Appreciate everyone who liked the video. Now let's talk some Michigan football, right? We still got a lot of content to come up. Stuart Yeager coming in with a $20 super chat. He's saying, for a holiday gift for the son of Yoder. There you go, Stuart. I'm going to make sure we get you your 2 sticker helmets. All right, I got you, Steve. Stuart, I'm getting your first of 2 stickers. Appreciate that. I'm going to have Preston, right? He kept the bet going, so we got another gift with Diamond Edwards scoring his 3rd touchdown of the year. Stuart, you're on there, my man. Appreciate you. And I will make sure that when Preston gets his gift, we'll go to the store next weekend or the week after, give him a Christmas gift, take a photo. We'll put it on a show coming out. Thanks to Stuart Yeager for a holiday gift for Preston Yoder, the biggest Diamond Edwards fan in the state of Texas. Here's what we got coming up in the show, right? We've been live for an hour and 10 minutes, and we just did one part of the show, the Top 25 college football playoff. Michigan is number 25. Michigan is number 3. Ohio State drops number 2. Jim Harbaugh suspension latest. This is the one you're going to want to stick around for. We'll take your questions, super chats, and other. Use hashtag Michigan to get your super chat in, and then a Michigan-Maryland preview and what to watch for. You guys know Josh Gaddis is the offensive coordinator. Hopefully Michigan gets a little revenge on Gaddis for his terrible offenses from the time he was at Michigan 2019, 2020, and 2021. Let's get it rolling, Jack. Roll that film. Jim Harbaugh, latest coming up right now. Lot of things happening over the last 24 hours. Expect them to continue tomorrow. Tomorrow seems to be a pivotal day, but these things don't always move as fast as you always expect. But sources tell us that the Big Ten and Michigan have had initial negotiations or conversations. It's not at the highest level. It's not Santaono, not Ward Manuel. It's not Tony Petitti, but it is one level beneath those guys. The guys who report to those leaders of the university about what it would take. Would you be agreeable? Would I be agreeable? Let's see how it goes. We're going to take a deep dive into that. Also, tell you about Jim Harbaugh's court case coming up on Friday if this doesn't happen, all coming up. But I did want to ask Dominic Franchillo, if you have yet to do so, which you haven't as we went live on Tuesday, I owe you a hard hat. I owe you a Don t-shirt. DM me on Twitter or Instagram. And then Mike Layton, we owe you one of our Michigan Football Report super chat hard hats. I'm going to mail this bad boy off to you. Just need an address from you guys. So if you could DM me on Twitter or on Instagram, at James Yoder, Twitter, at Michigan Football Report on Instagram. So let's talk about this major development brewing. Michigan football, Jim Harbaugh, suspended for 3 games. I think the Big Ten was even planning, from what I've heard just in the last 2 days, that if they make it to the Big Ten championship game, they were going to impose another suspension on top of that. But things are kind of moving forward. The Big Ten has a lot of egg in their face. I think a lot of folks across the country thought it was so unfair to do that to the players, to the team, the competitiveness of the sport, that they would suspend Jim Harbaugh less than 24 hours away from the game against Penn State. And the fact that once you get into a court setting and this word called discovery comes out, people could request records. They could do all kinds of things. You have to submit things to the court that might make the Big Ten, might look Michigan, other schools in the Big Ten that Michigan might want to make bleed with them, look bad. And it's never a good thing when you're in a lawsuit, an ongoing lawsuit, with a team that could be ranked number 1 in the country, that could be playing for the national championship game, that is one of your 2 bell cows of the conference. So let's take a look at what is going on of this entire case. But did want to let you guys know, I put a video about 2 hours ago. If you're watching this on Wednesday, last Tuesday afternoon, put a video up telling you this information. So if you follow on Instagram, we made it private so we can give the information there while this situation's a little sticky. It's at Michigan Football Report. The link is in the comments. It's in the description of today's video. Jack, when you get a chance, you got a moment, toss the link to it if we have it in the live chat a couple times as well. I'll put updates there when we're not doing a video here on YouTube. And if we learn something, I'll put it there to kind of keep it out. I don't want people screenshotting and all this stuff and releasing news. So that's the kind of place I'm going to put like up to the minute updates in video form at Michigan Football Report on Instagram. But Jim Harbaugh's future now hangs in the balance. If the Big Ten and Michigan and Fox, right? Fox is in on it. Their president, the president and CEO of Fox Sports, Michigan business grad, undergrad, I think Wisconsin, and Eric Shanks, the president of Fox Sports. They don't want their biggest product of all college athletics, the Michigan-Ohio State game, to be under the shroud of unfairness themselves, that Michigan doesn't have their head coach. It's not as exciting of a game. They've seen the numbers these two programs can do. This will be an undefeated matchup of the two premier brands and the premier rivalry in all of college football. Fox putting the pressure on the Big Ten, get Jim Harbaugh eligible. Michigan feeling less confident that they're going to get this temporary restraining order coming up on Friday. And the Big Ten just not wanting the bad publicity that's come with the suspension and other things over the past week, and even prior to that, suspension from Jim Harbaugh. So Harbaugh, his future's in the balance. But I think the thing to think about from Michigan's perspective is if they go forward and they don't negotiate a 2-game suspension instead of a 3, they don't agree to admitting to some wrongdoing, they are going to go into a court appearance on Friday where Jim Harbaugh plans to be there himself, where not just the Maryland game, but the Maryland and Ohio State game will be decided on the whims of a judge who may or may not, I know he's a Michigan grad, but may or may not be a big supporter of Jim Harbaugh or the football team or anything like that, or might just not see that the law is in Michigan's favor. I think it's a big risk to do if Michigan can get away with Jim Harbaugh just sitting out one more game. I think they've got to do it. Let me know who you guys think will be the head coach this Saturday. Michigan heading on the road, big noon kickoff, the second of 3 straight weeks, big noon. Joel Klatt, Gus Johnson, Jim Harbaugh, or Sharon Moore. If it's Jim Harbaugh, I think Michigan's going to win that restraining order on Friday. No negotiations. Give me a JH. Sharon Moore, either because Michigan loses the restraining order or Harbaugh agrees to a 2-game suspension reduction. Back for Ohio State. Give me an SM in the comments. Keep it rolling here on Jim Harbaugh. If a negotiation does not come to fruition, folks, then Friday is the day. Okay, Friday is the day for Jim Harbaugh. His ability to coach will be decided before Maryland, the Michigan's trip to Maryland. The expectation is this court will be heard. And from what I heard today is like they don't make an immediate decision with everyone in the crowd. They take a recess and they come back like 2 hours later. So if it's a 9 a.m. court appearance, goes till 9:30, 10 o'clock after both sides can give their thoughts. Michigan takes a 90-minute break, come back around noon, 12, 1, maybe before or after lunch, and they get a decision, and then Michigan will be then prepared to leave and fly out to Maryland on Friday afternoon. So the court appearance is at the Washtenaw County Circuit Courthouse at 101 East Huron Street in Ann Arbor. There's no TV or streaming allowed. But the reason I put that address is, folks, look, it's open to the public to attend as of now. Maybe they changed that. I'm not sure. But as of now, all these kind of appointments are open to the public to attend. And Jim Harbaugh himself will be in attendance and, if given the opportunity, will plan to speak to the judge to plead his case before the ruling. Here's what he said in his press conference yesterday. I'm going to talk Friday. I'm just looking for that opportunity, not looking for special treatment, not looking for a popularity contest, just looking for merit of what the case is. So that's where Jim Harbaugh's head's at now. The people who work in and around this program, Ward Manuel's underling, Santa Ono, the Board of Regents, they don't want this to go to court. It's just a bad look all around for the school, for the Big Ten, for the coach. And you run the risk, 50-50 I'd say at this point, that you actually get what you want. So in my opinion, if you're kind of weighing things, 50-50 we get suspended, or I just agree to one more game, it's kind of like the same odds, and you don't have the downside. I think it is a really good decision for Michigan to make because you don't want a judge deciding potentially Michigan's season. I think Michigan could beat Maryland without Jim Harbaugh. I think they could beat Ohio State with Jim Harbaugh. I certainly would rather have Jim Harbaugh, the guy who's won the past 2 years, won several years as a player. I want him on the sideline, the guy who went to the Super Bowl, and not Sharon Moore. And there's no knock to Sharon Moore, but I think Michigan should be putting all its chips in the table to win that Ohio State game, to beat Ohio State again. Can they beat him without Jim Harbaugh? Yes. Would I prefer to have Harbaugh? Of course. So if there's the opportunity to settle this out of court, agree to one more game, some level of admittance, maybe not wrongdoing, but hey, we did some things that shouldn't have happened. Connor Stallions, bad guy, whatever. They should absolutely do that. I'll ask you guys this question. Let's say there's no Jim Harbaugh. Michigan goes through. They go to court on Friday. They lose the request for a temporary restraining order. Can Michigan beat Ohio State without Jim Harbaugh? Give me a yes or no in the comments or in the live chat. I see Angela saying yes, GSA saying yes from the live Tuesday night audience. I think the general consensus people are going to say yes because they did against Penn State. Remember, this is Ohio State. I know their offense hasn't been explosive as much as we've seen in the last decade plus, but they still have boatloads of talent on both sides of the ball and maybe one of the best 2 or 3 defenses in all of college football. It's absolutely from Barry, but it's almost 100% yes in the comments. I agree that it can. Will they? Probably, but I'd rather have Jim Harbaugh being on the sideline for Michigan. So make sure you guys are commenting Bosa. This has been the greatest sports political slogan in modern history. It's 3.5 years old now. We started in 2020 after the 2019 blowout loss. Beat Ohio State again, BOSA. So make sure you guys are always commenting Bosa. 11 days to the game. If you're watching this on Wednesday, 10 days to Michigan, Ohio State. Bosa. Bosa. All right, that is what's going on. We're going to continue on the story, but did have to tell you guys about today's sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. We've been working with Prize Picks all season, and I have become a Prize Picks fanatic. I absolutely love playing it. It's the easiest and fastest way to play daily fantasy sports. Just pick more or less on player stats to win up to 25 times your money. Now, I'm on a little losing streak on Prize Picks, so I let former producer of the show, Jeremy Chugs, a.k.a. Jeremy Beadling, make my picks. We put in $10, 4 picks, more or less. C.J. Stroud, we got the Kelsey brothers scoring a touchdown, weird pick. Jalen Hurts, more than a half of a rushing touchdown, and C.D. Lamb, more than 88.5 yards rushing. Jack, you know, 3 straight games over 150 yards receiving for C.D. Lamb and 10 catches. I don't like that Stroud one, but what are you going to do there? We've got more for 4. $10 risk. If I get all those right, I win myself $100. I love Prize Picks because it's you versus the numbers, not playing against other players, not playing against an elaborate league or deep fantasy lineup. You can mix and match sports. You can go college football, NBA, college basketball, et cetera. Love it. Reboot policy. If you got multiple players and one of them goes down in the first half and does not return in football and basketball, boom, he's just taken away from your entry, and the entry continues to live on if he doesn't return from injury. And you're allowed flex play with Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. That's prizepicks.com/CLNS. Get up to $100 deposit match with your first deposit. prizepicks.com/CLNS. I'll put that link in the comments and the description of today's Michigan football report. And let's put that bad boy in the live chat here live on Tuesday night. Continue on with this major development that Michigan and the Big Ten have held initial talks hoping to avoid a court case. Now, there's a lot of hurt feelings here. Santaono's pissed. Jim Harbaugh's pissed. Warden Manuel thinks that he's been, the wool's been pulled over his eyes. Tony Petitti thinks that he's been disrespected. Okay? Other Big Ten schools are complaining to Tony Petitti and saying, look, this is outrageous. This is the worst crime in the history of the Big Ten. But could they reduce the suspension? Right? The talk right now, that's what I give you guys. Stay on your toes. Follow me on Twitter at James Yoder, because after hear about it, we'll do it there. I put a video on Instagram earlier, so if you're on Instagram, you could have had this information 2 hours ago. That things are probably going to happen in the next 48 hours. I think Wednesday is a pivotal day to avoid court. Jim Harbaugh and Michigan agreed to a 1 more game suspension, reduce it from 3 down to 2. And it's not just the Big Ten. It's not just Michigan that are kind of putting this in. Fox is applying the pressure. Fox Sports executives applying serious pressure on the Big Ten, their commissioner, to have Harbaugh on the sideline. They know that if he has a 2-game suspension, Michigan's ranked in the top 2 or 3. It's just like last year. It's just like 2016. It's just like 2006. We're talking about game of the century ratings, and the Big Ten pays that kind of money. They have the ear of the Big Ten. They have the ear of the commissioner. They, of course, have the ear of every university president and athletic director. If they say they want Jim Harbaugh back in the game, I'll tell you what. I'd like to see the conference commissioner who's been there for 8 months that can go up against Fox Sports, who's paying nearly half of the bills that the Big Ten schools, all athletic departments, are paying. If Fox wants Harbaugh in, I think they're going to get Harbaugh in. And if Michigan gets that opportunity, I say just do it. 2-game suspension, right? If it's possible to come to a compromise, you already got past the tough one at Penn State. You're going to beat Maryland with or without Jim Harbaugh. Knock on wood. Michigan would be crazy not to accept it. I just don't think the temporary restraining order, I don't think it is a sure thing at this point. I'm just putting it at 50-50. I said Saturday morning, I was like, wow, this is 2 hours to game time. I was 90% sure that Harbaugh was going to be the coach, 99% sure. Now I'm like 70-30, 60-40 as the time ticked on. Then he wasn't, didn't get the TRO. Now it's going another week, hours before they're supposed to leave for Maryland. I think it's 50-50 at absolute best, despite the conference. Despite all the insiders and blog boys saying that it was going to happen last week, myself included, it's It's going to happen this week, guaranteed. I think it's a 50-50 proposition. So I think Michigan should take the deal if they can reduce suspension from 3 games down to 2, not leave it in the hands of a judge coming up on Friday morning. Make sure you guys, though, subscribe to the channel. It is the Michigan Football Report, the most consumed, watched, listened to, heard, whatever, on any platform, TV, radio, podcast, YouTube, etc. in 2022, and we are leading the way in 2023. Thank you so much to everyone who's watched, everyone who's subscribed. Send the link to your friends. Join 29,000 strong football fans, Michigan football fans, youtube.com/Michigan TV. Swallow your pride, Jim Harbaugh. Swallow your pride, Michigan. Swallow your pride, Santa Ono. Whoever is going to make the final decision for Michigan. Get Harbaugh back from Ohio State. Have that build up. Get that win. Get the win in the Big Ten championship game. Go on and put your best foot forward in the college football playoff. Because I'll tell you what, if Harbaugh is not on the field for Michigan, if they don't get this temporary restraining order and they had the opportunity to get him on the field and they didn't take it, and they lose to Ohio State, I'll tell you what, I will never forget it. I will regret it for the rest of my life, and Michigan should regret it even more than just someone like me. I'm sure someone like you guys. Get him on the field if you've got the opportunity. Next 24 hours, maybe the next 48 hours, is going to be a very, very important period before Friday morning, 9 a.m., Jim Harbaugh's court appearance. So I'll ask you guys this question. I made the case there. Should Michigan agree to a reduced suspension? As long, they have to admit they did something wrong, whatever that is, but maybe Jim Harbaugh does not have to make any admissions of his own wrongdoing. Should Michigan agree, or whatever it is? We're gonna put out a letter saying this is what we did bad. Let me know. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Let me know in the live chat. Let me know in the comments. I am 1 all day. So let me know what you guys think. 1 or 2. So last thing, just to recap where we're at. Sources have told us that there's been a lot of conversations between Michigan and the Big Ten. Not at the very top, a level below the decision makers. Now Fox getting involved. There's supposed to be several calls tomorrow that involve Ward Manuel, Fox Sports President, and Fox Sports CEO, Santa Ono, Tony Petitti. Something's going to happen tomorrow or early Thursday, I think, because nobody wants us to go to a case in front of court coming up on Friday. Type your boasts in the comment. Get Harbaugh back for Ohio State. This is the season I don't think any of us are going to forget for many reasons. The talent on the field, the blowout games all year long, but maybe more than anything, the fact that your head coach got suspended for 2 different things, 2 different times. First 3 games of the season, last 3 games of the season. Maybe reduce that by 1 game, get him back in the field for the biggest game in maybe the history of the program against Ohio State on to a national championship January 8th in Houston. It's the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. That'll wrap up this VOD segment going up on the channel on Wednesday morning. So I'll see you guys later. Go Blue. All right, we're sticking live here. Type Go Blue if you're a Michigan football fan. All right, a lot of chatting there. Ashley's saying she's not married, but her boyfriend just through process. All right. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Whoever's talking trash, name them. We will ban them for life. Who was it? First 3 votes. So we get to 3 votes first. Yes or no? Should we ban Wave Raver for talking trash to Ashley Lawson? Yes or no? First one of those gets the answer. I'll let the crowd. Wave Runner, Andrew says, like it. Yes or no? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. No from Wave Runner. Okay, so okay. One vote. Yes. Let's see. Yes. All right, he's gone. There you go. Wave Runner. We're gonna put you on suspension. Okay, you're in timeout for a few minutes. So that's that. Thank you, everyone. Watch. Yes is just walking in here. Zach CD, yes. Sam, Robert, Jack, Death Dynasty. Yes. Wave Runner asked my husband, let me online unattended. Wave Runner, you're just a sick son of a bitch. I'll tell you what. What kind of person are you? We have knocked out the top 25. We have talked Jim Harbaugh suspension list. We've got Michigan football Q&A. So use hashtag Michigan. It tosses your comment right to the top of the Michigan Football Report producer chair with Jack. He can put your comment on the screen, or we got a bunch of super chats. Jack, if you look at the super chats, the best ones football related. Oh man, I'll tell you what, my back is hurting me a little bit. So use hashtag Michigan, just like that. We got $10 coming from Thomas. We'll put that at the top of this segment, like that. Hello. So you guys take a look at what I did there. Just hashtag Michigan and then your comment. We'll get you on screen. Wave Runner, you should keep your mouth shut next time. I appreciate that. Good comment from Angela. Ashley Lawson, y'all killing it tonight. I think the audience is killing it. Not even Jack and I. So get the comments going. Hashtag Michigan. It is the Michigan Football Report. Let's do this. I'm gonna tweet that out, Chad. Let me go pin that first. I forgot to pin it because I put it up right before we went live. If you guys want, I'm gonna go put my tweets that we put out before the show. Let's do this. I'll put it here in the live chat. You go to my account at James Yoder on Twitter, or just click on that tweet. Give me a retweet, comment, like. I'll give some shout outs for anybody who helps spread the gospel on Twitter. I tweeted that right out before the show, and I think I only got like 5 likes on it or something like that. It's pretty pedestrian, if you ask me. One of them is, the only comment is Reggie Hugecock. That's the actual guy's name. And he says cheating and then the F word, and then just a big picture of an asterisk with a Michigan logo beneath it. So that's just pathetic. It's sickening. I think Reggie and the other guy, what's his name, Wave Runner, probably related. Honestly, probably related. Or rolling in cahoots. So if you guys could, in the live chat there, just either retweet, reply. We'll show some love to anyone who gets in there right now. What do you got to fix, Jack? Yeah. Some guy! He says $50, but then types in $40. What's the deal there? What is the super chat menu? Some guy just says 40. All right, some guy. He is back and better than ever with a 50 burger. Jack, we should show once you get the super chat menu. I guess we can show the helmet on there. We don't have to change it. Just it's done, right? Okay. Some guy coming in with a 40 spot. Let's take a look at the super chat menu. We have it. We kind of raced to the hard hats, to the helmet giveaway. We gave away 2 helmets. Some guy, you got 40s coming. I've got your first one on there, right there. Super chat menu right now is any super chat gets you on screen. $5 will do a wheel spin. So we probably owe a few wheel spins. We didn't really do those much. We didn't get to this here. Yeah. We'll open this menu up now. The rest of the show, this will be the menu. $5 wheel spin. Jack, if you want to show the wheel spin at some point, we can touch up it there. $10, you're on the Hard Hat Club. That continues. We've been doing that all show. $100, and I will do a beer bong as it is Thirsty Tuesday. Late night show. I've got this bad boy here, and it's like Ohio State fan tears coming from the red part. We're going to bong a beer, but also it's Ohio State fan tears. Join the Hard Hat Club today. $10 super chat gets you on the hard hat. Jack, let's play the menu, the video one more time so people know they'll be immortalized on this show for the next year come middle of February. So with our end screen menu at the end of about 9 out of every 10 videos, take a look. This is the one from last year with our 40 biggest super chatters. And there it is. Look at those amazing people. By the way, Hunter Dickinson, number 1 Kansas. That's just a tough one to say. He's playing. They're playing Kentucky right now. That's kind of a weird one. Hunter Dickinson, Michigan legend, right? In some regards, now playing at Kansas. Tough to see him in that uniform. Although I think the team's actually better without him. So Jack, what do we have on there? I've actually got it. So I'll take a look and read them off. But toss it on screen. I will read off what's on there. So if we get a $5 super chat, we'll do a wheel spin going forward. Red's prank call an Ohio State fan. Okay. Yellow, we will sing Hail to the Victors. Blue, we'll do 10 jumping jacks. Green, wear a wig for 5 minutes. I got 2 wigs today. I got this brunette wig, and I also got like the bald man wig, which might mess with me a little bit. Red is Ask Me Anything. Whoever sends the $5 in, if they get it, then they can do another chat and ask me anything. Yellow, you could write my next tweet. Blue, 5 push-ups. Green, it's kind of like get out jail free card. Back to the show. So $85 super chat. But we're going to take your questions right now on the show. I'll ask you guys this question before we jump into the segment. Can Michigan win the national title? Comment yes if you're with me on this one. We've been calling it since the season ended last year. Houston or bust. Can Michigan win this national championship? We still got 2 segments left to go on the show. We've been live for about an hour and 40 minutes. Let's get it rolling. Our Michigan Football Report mailbag. Use hashtag Michigan or super chat to get your butt on the show. And really just use hashtag Michigan with every comment, maybe just to keep the Ohio State fans keep them trolling like Wave Runner was and some others, typing cheater, typing all this other stuff. All right, Jack, we ready to roll? Let's get things going. Taking our first question from Youngest Harbaugh, starting up right now. Question coming in from Youngest Harbaugh. It is the Michigan Football Report mailbag. We have some great info for you on this show, taking questions from our audience. He says, I know it's early, but what do you think this team looks like next season? It's in 2024. Interesting question that we'll get to in just a moment. But you are watching the Michigan Football Report live Q&A audience mailbag live from Tuesday night show. We're going to put this up later in the week, maybe Thursday or Friday. TBD when it comes to this whole Harbaugh Big Ten Fox Sports situation. But I also want to ask you guys, like the video on our demand videos. We've asked, you guys have come through big time. I've said 100 likes in the first 1 hour. When this goes up on Thursday or Friday, let's get 200 likes in the first 2 hours. It really helps put this video in the feed of more Michigan football fans. For those of you watching live, you can always use hashtag Michigan, pop you right to the top of Jack's feed, or got a bunch of super chats we'll go through as well from the live show. But let's get back to the question. I know it's early, but what does this team look like next season? Good question, tough question. Trying to think about this. The defense is going to look a lot better than I think I initially thought, right? Josh Wallace has another year of eligibility. Makari Page, I don't think is going to go pro. I think he's going to be returned to Michigan next year. Keon Sabb, he's looking good as a sophomore. I don't know if Rod Moore is going to go to the NFL because I don't think it's a top 1 or 2 round pick. So you could have your entire secondary with Will Johnson, minus Mike Sanderson, of course, but you could have those 5 who have a ton of starting experience. Keon Sabb, maybe he moves to the safety position starting. Maybe Rod Moore comes down and he plays that nickel role next year. Okay, cool. Linebacker, is Junior Colson going to leave early? I think he wants to, but where will he be drafted? If he's a 3rd or 4th round projection, he'll come back for senior year. And then you're going to have Ernest Hausman. So, okay, cool. You got 4 starters in the secondary, plus Keon Sabb, who started a few games. Then you got your 2 starting linebackers. And then defensive ends. Jalen Harrell can come back next year. I don't know if he will. Chris Jenkins is going to go pro, but you're still going to have Mason Graham. You're still going to have Trap Money Benny, Rayshon Trap Money Benny. And then you're going to have Kenneth Grant, the gift from the football gods, running down Penn State linebackers. You're going to have Derek Moore still. You're still going to have Josiah Stewart. So you're going to have 12, 13 high-impact players on this team coming back next year on offense. I think the question is if this is the top 5 team or number 12 to 20 team in the country, is whether J.J. McCarthy comes back. If he does, no matter what else happens, I think Michigan's top 2 or 3 in the preseason polls, maybe even number 1. If he doesn't, depends on the level of quality of the quarterback that I think they're going to have to get in the transfer portal. If it's a starter who's proven something in other schools, Michigan still is a top 5, 8 program next year. But if they've got to replace the entire offense outside maybe Colston, Loveland, and a couple other people, I think the offense could be a bigger struggle, and this might be more of like a 10-2, 9-3 team. But as the season's going on, I felt much more confident on 2024 than I did when the season started. Reminder to Dominic Franchillo and Mike Layton, need you guys to hit me on Instagram or hit me on Twitter, at James Yoder on Twitter or at Michigan Football Report on Instagram. Send me the DMs. We got some giveaways from last week's show, last Tuesday, for you. Dominic's getting a hard hat and the Don t-shirt. Mike Layton is getting one of our Super Chat hard hat. We're a gritty show. We wear the hard hat. We go to work and want to make sure we're putting these in the hands of our viewing audience. Dominic and Mike won some contests we had on November 7th live, Michigan Football Report. Thomas Berry says, if you really wanted to stick it to Petiti, they would travel to Maryland. Okay, what does that say, Jack? They would threaten to forfeit Maryland within hours of kickoff, and then they would watch Fox come for Petiti's scalp, still with the Big Ten and the national title. That's an awesome thing. Thomas Berry, that is an awesome chess move by Michigan. So let's just play that out. Michigan flies to Maryland. Jim Harbaugh's with him. He's not with him. Whatever. Okay. And they say, you know what? Fox has got this viewing audience that's going to get 7 or 8 million viewers coming up on Saturday. Big noon kickoff, their entire production. We are not going out on the field. What's going to happen there is the Big Ten is going to be contractual breach to Fox. They're going to lose money. Michigan's going to flex their muscles. And it's not even going to hurt them with the Big Ten and the national championship race, right? They still would beat Ohio State the next week. You're still in the Big Ten championship game. You forfeit the game. So it shows up as a loss maybe, but it doesn't really matter. You beat Ohio State. You win the Big Ten championship game. You're still in the college football playoff, and you stick it to the Big Ten. Thomas, I'm sending this to people who have a chance to get it in the hands of Jim Harbaugh. That's a pretty good idea. I really like it. Thomas Berry with a hell of a analysis or suggestion for Michigan football. Sheldon Cooper says, you're a longtime listener. You hear me straight. This gambling investigation in Vegas, do you expect any major or more surprises? As always, Bosa. Look, it's been out there. I don't think it's relevant. I think this investigation, the NCAA investigators have been talking to Michigan football players. There's been some talk about point spreads, etc. It seems one level too deep of criminality and things like that for me to really think has any legs. And if that was the case, I think Michigan's football players, Connor Stallions, of course, anybody still on the staff, they would be luring up to the heavens if they were looking at potentially jail time or anything like that. Big time question coming from Sheldon. Really like, make sure that we're addressing the rumors that are out there, but I have yet to see anything that makes them valid. $20 super chat coming from some guy. We'll get you in a second. But I want to tell you guys about Prize Picks, the sponsor of the Michigan Football Report. I love Prize Picks. 60 seconds, I can get my pick in. I'm playing 3 or 4 days a week, Thursday night football. I'm playing some college football games on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. It's college football all day. Sunday, Monday night football as well. You versus the numbers. You can mix and match sports. Reboot policy. If a player in your Prize Picks gets injured in the first half and does not return, the pick continues to live on. That player is just taken out. And you've got Flex Play. Prize Picks is daily fantasy made easy. I can make my picks in under 60 seconds, and it's the fastest way and easiest way to play daily fantasy sports. You pick more or less on player stats to win up to 25 times your money. This week, I'm picking Coleridge Stroud, CJ Stroud. I've got more than 1.5 passing touchdowns. I've been losing lately, so our guy Jeremy Chugs make my picks. More than a half touchdown for the Kelsey brothers combined, more than a half rush touchdown for Jalen Hurts, and more than 85.5, 86.5, I should take the back. Receiving yards for C.D. Lamb of the Dallas Cowboys had 3 straight games over 150. So I just picked more on all those. We're a more group, right? We're looking for more offense. I put $10 down. I get those right. I win myself $100. And speaking of 100, PrizePicks is giving you a deposit match of up to $100 when you make your first deposit. But you got to use the link at the bottom of the screen, prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. Link is in the comments and description of the video. Support the show. Make sure you use our sponsor link and promo code to get yourself up to a $100 deposit match. PrizePicks is super fun. You'll enjoy it, and they will continue to sponsor our show so we can go live here for 2-3 hours on every Tuesday night that our little hearts desire. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Some guy coming in saying, I wonder if Ryan Day is behind the Mel Tucker mess at MSU. Interesting. Well, I don't know what to say to that because Mel Tucker mess means that he was rubbing one on the phone to Brenda Tracy late at night. I don't know what his motivation would be for that scenario at all, but I wouldn't put anything past Ryan Day at this point. So some guy appreciate the $20 super chat. We're getting you on the helmets sticker. Making sure, did I get him a helmet sticker? I did. So we got a few more coming for you later, but I'll make sure you got one for you on this show. Some guy, thank you so much to the super chat. $10, you're on the hard hat, and you will be on the end screen again after the season is over. Vaughn Moore says, no one is talking about it, but the scandal may help with the draft. What NFL GM wouldn't want to draft these kids? Mental toughness means a lot. And I said this earlier in the live show. It's a really good point by Vaughn. I really think this is a well-thought-out question. Is when you go to these job interviews, sometimes like, what's the biggest adversity you've ever faced? Can you tell me about a time where, all the chips were down or you had to go above and beyond? There's all these interview questions. You guys know what I'm talking about. How about you ask this question in an NFL draft combine interview to J.J. McCarthy or Blake Corum or Donovan Edwards or Chris Jenkins or, Zach Zinter? Well, let me tell you about the time we were ranked number 2 in the country and then number 3 in the country, and our coach was suspended for the first 3 games of the season, and the entire sports world came down on us for a month, and our coach was suspended for another 3 games, maybe less, with what might happen before Friday's court case. But that's just a great question, and I think that's a good point from Vaughn. Mental toughness, showing that they didn't let it affect them. We went on the road against a top 10 team without our coach less than 24 hours. That's a hell of a one. So if they got to go on the field, this kind of thing I think really strengthens the spine, puts some steel in your spine, as Jim Harbaugh says. The kind of guys I would want to draft if I was an NFL GM. Get to know you guys a little better on your Michigan football fanhood. Who is your all-time favorite Michigan football player? I've got like 3 now, right? I've got 5. My all-time number 1 is Charles Woodson. And after Woodson, it became Braylon Edwards, right? 2001, 2, 3. He was there in 2002, 3, 4, I should say, were his big years. Also there in 2001. So those are my top 2. And then it was like kind of in the abyss. Chad Henne, but he didn't win against Michigan, Ohio State, etc. And there was like in the abyss. Denard, I really couldn't get behind because of the losses and the bad seasons with Rich Rod. But the last 3 years, that brought me 3 new all-time players. Hassan Haskins, right? He's in my top 5. Okay. Certainly Donovan Edwards because what he did against Ohio State. And now this season, it is J.J. McCarthy. I think Mike Sainristil, Blake Corum right there. But as of now, those are my top 5 Wolverines of all time. Let me know who your favorite player is. A-Train132. It's always the A-Train. Let me know what you guys think your favorite all-time Michigan football player. And while you guys down there commenting, make sure you go scroll past that subscribe button. Hit this bad boy. We are well over 29,000 subscribers in the Michigan Football Report, and we are right on the path to 30,000. Can we hit it before next week's game against Ohio State? Be a stretch, but love if you guys can help us get there. Steve from D-Town in the house. D-Town, who would be your top outside coaching candidates if Harbaugh wasn't here next season? So I saw this one coming in earlier on the show. I gave Jacksonville one up because I had this queued up. If anything would have happened with Jim Harbaugh, if he would have gotten fired or anything like that, if something more came out over the last couple of weeks with the entire, Connor Stallion situation. So if they went outside the program, which I don't think they will, I think Sherrone Moore is right there. But what happens if Sherrone Moore gets fired too, right? I don't think any of this is going to happen. Well, let's just take a just for fun's sake. I think my number one candidate has got to be Oregon's Dan Lanning, head coach there. Been there for 2 seasons, and it's got them right in the thick of the playoff hunt, maybe playing the best football of any team in the country outside of Michigan at this point. Dan Lanning, like 37 years old, defensive coordinator with Georgia, shut down Michigan 2 years ago, assistant at Alabama prior to that. He would be my absolute number one candidate if Michigan went outside the program. Number 2, Kalen DeBoer, Washington. His coaching record is something crazy. It is like in 3 stops at Washington and another school, which I forget, and then some D5 school, etc. He's got a record of like 103-9 or something like that in his college football career. Kalen DeBoer got a hell of an offense, develops wide receivers, develops quarterbacks. I would like to see what Fresno State. Who's he at with before them, though, right? Fresno State was before then. He was head coach of like a small program. Sioux Falls. We'll call it Sioux Falls. Absurd record in those 3 stops. How about Matt LaFleur? Matt LaFleur is the Packers head coach, but he is not dealing with an Aaron Rodgers-led team, right? He had those 4 years with Rodgers. They were going to the NFC Championship game every year. They were going 13-3 or 12-5, 14-3, etc. That's not the case anymore. Aaron Rodgers has left. They've got Jordan Love. He's not working out that well. It's a 500 team. Could he get fired this year? Maybe. I doubt it. I think he's going to get another year or 2 because of his past success. But he's a Michigan fan growing up, Matt LaFleur. He might see this as the opportunity to be the head coach of the team he grew up loving from the state of Michigan, went to Northern Michigan. Very young guy. I think he's early 40s as well, and has shown his chops at the highest level, just like Jim Harbaugh before he came to Michigan, going to NFC Championship games, going 13-4, et cetera, et cetera. Matt LaFleur, I think, would be a big-time candidate that Michigan should absolutely look at. How about Jedd Fisch? Okay. What a job he's done with Arizona. They have had a hell of a season. They're just a play or 2 away. I mean, they have come down to the absolute wire. They could be in the top 7, top 8 right now, maybe with 1 loss if another play or 2 went their way. Former Michigan co-offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, passing game coordinator in 2015 and 2016. Jedd Fisch. Love what he's doing in Arizona. Is he going to stay there and turn them into a really nice program as they move to the Big 12, or he's going to jump in the next year or 2 to a big-time program? Michigan should give him a look if they decide to look outside of the program. How about this guy? All right, Jamie Chadwell. Doing some things at Liberty, right? Got Liberty undefeated. He's got Liberty undefeated. Prior to that, head coach at Coastal Carolina, and you cannot deny what he did there. Coastal Carolina, they went 3-9 his first year there, right? 5-7, and then 2020, 11-1, 2021, 11-2, 2022, 9-3. Now he's got Liberty 9-0. Prior to that, Charleston Southern, he had a couple 10-3 seasons in there in his 4 years, an 8-4, a 7-4. And prior to that, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is his 5th stop at Liberty. He's still a relatively young guy. Want to check his age really quick. 1977. I mean, so Jamie Chadwell is 46 years old on his 5th head coaching job. Those are 5 candidates I think Michigan would absolutely should, could, and would look at if they had to go outside the program and not give the job to someone like Sherrone Moore, Jesse Minter, Mike Hart, someone like that. John Blay, Super Chat MVP of the night and of the year. He says, beat the Ninja Turtles, that is Maryland, for win number 1,000. Michigan football, first team in any level of football, pro, college, high school, to win 1,000 games. It's the Packers leading the NFL with 700-something. Valdosta High School in Georgia with 800-something. And then Michigan football, the leader at all levels of football, coming up with 1,000. John's going to be at the game in Maryland. I'm going to be at the game in Maryland. Saw a few other people in the live chat at the game, so hit me up on Twitter at James Yoder. John, I'll be definitely hitting you up to see what's going on pregame, what's going on postgame. Thanks so much for the huge amount of super chats, John. You are the absolute man. Got to this question earlier, didn't have a chance to really answer it. How do you feel about TCU admitting they stole Michigan signs last year for the CFP? I don't know, there was a backdoor coach who went to Sports Illustrated and said, hey, we got this, we got that from Michigan opponents, probably Ohio State, maybe Purdue, maybe even Rutgers. But what their defense is, of course, is TCU and the teams that gave it to them, is it wasn't done with outside sources. It wasn't done with iPhones. It was done by just charting him on the game, which technically is maybe legal. But I think the sportsmanship policy that the Big Ten employs doesn't really come into play there. So I would say I don't think it's good. And I think the Big Ten teams, if it was Big Ten teams who gave them that information, absolute scumbag move and turn their back on their conference. A conference that Michigan, for the better part of ever, has really financially led the charge on, and has allowed those other teams in the Big Ten to get the same piece of the pie, which they frankly did not have to do. Michigan ranked number 3 in the college football playoff. Answer this question down in the comments or the live chat. Will Michigan make the college football playoff for the 3rd straight year? It's just a simple yes or a simple no. Let me know what you guys are feeling. Yes or no? Will Michigan make the college football playoff? They got to beat Maryland. They got to beat Ohio State. They win the Big Ten championship game for a 3rd year. Yes or no? Let me know what you guys are thinking. And I'll make you guys a deal. Hashtag team follow back on X, AKA, formerly known as FKA, Twitter. Next 5 people after the live show or after this video goes out Thursday or Friday who follow me on Twitter, I will follow the next 5 people back. So go follow me at James Yoder on Twitter /X/TwitterX. Bill Graves, funny thought, the Big Ten crowd dresses up in black and white like spy characters for the Ohio State game. Like that. And you could also have like hamburger sign-ups, so you kind of dress like a spy or a burglar. You got cheeseburgers to kind of make light of the further one. Everyone could bring binoculars, right? Everyone could, at one point in the game, right, end of the first quarter, ladies and gentlemen of Michigan Stadium, would you please pay attention to the north end zone, pull out your iPhone, and record the Ohio State sidelines. Ladies and gentlemen, start your iPhones. Everyone just records the Ohio State sidelines just to show how absurd that anyone could have done this whole Connor Stallions thing. Like the idea, Bill. I think Michigan should do something. Maybe just a maze out, but something to just kind of poke fun at everything that's gone on over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Wave Runner. Didn't we ban this guy, Jack? Wave Runner. All righty. Super chat us. Okay. Will McGregor take that step next year? I guess we're talking about, yeah, so will he take that? I don't know if he's going to be back, right? Will Braden McGregor take that step? He could go pro after this year, technically. Was he been in the program 4 or 5 years? He's been starting with Jalen Harrell, but he's made a lot of big impact plays so far this year, and he's certainly a well-valued player, but he hasn't made he's not a superstar player. He's not an all-conference player this year, but could you say the same thing for Aiden Hutchinson going into his 4th year? Maybe. He had a nice 3rd year. He might have been a first-round draft pick. So always something to be said. If he comes back, which I expect him to at this point, could he make a big jump? Yes, although I wouldn't bet money on it. But I think he's got to worry more about holding off guys like Josiah Stewart, Derek Moore, and maybe some other players coming up beneath him, TJ Guy, etc., than he has about making some big step like Aiden Hutchinson did in 2021. But we have seen Michigan develop defensive linemen, defensive ends, as good as anybody in the country over the past 5-6 seasons. So we'll see what Braden McGregor has in the 2024 season should he return to Michigan for another season. There is number 3 of our 4 segments on the show. It is 10:40 on the East Coast, 9:40 here at the Michigan Football Report HQ in lovely Dallas, Texas. We got 115 people watching. Let's light up the chat really quick. Let's keep us motivated here. Light up the chat. Let's see if we can get 50 chats in the next minute. So just type anything. Like I'm just going to type letters, right? So type something in the chat because we have dropped the chat right down to 3. We have dropped the chat right down to 3 chats per minute over the last minute. I want to give some shout outs to people who engaged and retweeted me on X, on Twitter, like we said we would. So let's take a look there. Damian Fowler says, diehard Iowa fan, want to come in and show some fellow Big Ten rivals some respect. G. Edwards, 22, give me a go blue. Appreciate that. Reggie Huge Kach. I don't appreciate what you got going on, my man. But nevertheless, G. Edwards gave it a quote tweet, and Jack Latteray gave it a retweet. Steve, at Maze Blue for you. Wolverine Fanatical. Sam Strupa. Sam's been in tonight. Ryan, 16184. Colt, 45. Robert Williams, and my guy, George Paul Lewis. It's G13 Lewis. Have all liked the tweet. So if you guys could, if you've yet to do so, go show me some love on this tweet, my pinned tweet on my Twitter account. Spread the wealth across people on Twitter. Make sure this puts in front of the feed of more Michigan football fans. Jack Latteray is getting a quick break, and we are going to come back to our Michigan-Maryland preview. A few things to talk about around this game with or without Jim Harbaugh. We don't know just yet, but we'll do a quick preview. Preview is going to go up on the channel on Thursday morning. The Harbaugh segment that we just did, that will go on the channel on Wednesday morning. And then the mailbag kind of depends on what happens with the Harbaugh news, whether there's any sort of negotiation that reduced it from 3 games down to 2. Wave Raver, $1.99 Super Chat, comes in and he says, sorry, James, was just excited. We beat St. John in basketball. Big win. How about Doug McDaniel? How about the transfer from Tennessee? How about this Michigan basketball team, right? Giving it to St. John's last night. Giving it to Youngstown State prior to that. They are 3-0. They're looking good. I think next week they are actually going to be ranked. Some guy coming in with a $50 Super Chat. Boom! Hail, hail to some guy with a 50 burger. Michigan will win out. And Jack will put these on the screen in a moment. Michigan will win out. Maryland is good, but they will not beat Michigan. Ohio State is not as good as they think they are. Should not even be in the top 5. Hashtag bet. $50 from some guy. I'll give him another one. You'll get 5 more helmet stickers, but we're waiting for Jack, some guy, giving you one of those 5. We owe you a bunch from your Super Chats. So, Jack, we had some guy, and we had the 50 banger, and we had Wave Raver, who I think I initially mistook for the guy we banned, but in my brain, at least, I did. No, I thought it was it Wave Raver? Okay. He said he was just excited. He was just excited that Michigan beat Okay. All right. He said he apologized. All right. Some guy got you right there. But, man, with Angela, Mike Layton, Jim Prindable, the Lost Angels, Ashley Lawson coming a helmet coming your way, Sam Strupa, Travaris Beckley, Bill Graves, Stuart Yeager buying Preston Yoder a Christmas present, Dino, Jim Prindable, Steve Ashard also getting himself a helmet, Thomas Berry, James Strange, Stephen Mers, Dominic Frangillo, Lord Buddy Bear, and a few others. Thank you so much to everyone who has done that. So some guy saying Michigan went out, Maryland is good, Michigan's going to win them. Ohio State not as good as they think they are. I think we're going to find out. This Ohio State defense is legit. They're better than the defenses of the past years, right? Probably going to go back to the 2019 season till you get a Michigan football defense this good. And they've got talent all over the board. Defensive line talent's absurd. Secondary talent is very strong. Now, not that I'm going to take shots, and I don't revel in this happening, but Lathan Ransom of Gets Past Ransom fame of Diamond Edwards' first 75-yard touchdown, and then the 85 after that, out for the season. So, bummer for him. Don't wish injury on anybody, but Diamond Edwards will not have the chance to run past 75 yards against Lathan Ransom because he is injured. So Ohio State losing a starting safety after he left the game against Michigan State last week, and they made that announcement Tuesday afternoon that he will be out for the remainder of the season. Ohio State, though, they're going to have a chance like it's going to be the opposite of 2 years ago. Everyone expects Michigan to win. Everyone expects Ohio State to win in 2021, 2022, except for us. We didn't. We thought Michigan was going to win. Now everyone expects Michigan to win. Ohio State has a chance to prove that this last 10 games, maybe 11, if they beat Minnesota, wasn't a fluke, and they have a chance to win a national championship. I don't think they can do it, but they have the highest level. They've got JTT. They've got Jack Sawyer. They've got the receivers, Marvin Harrison Jr., Emeka Ibuka, Cade Stover, who was a schmuck in the Michigan game last year. He's been playing really well. As long as they have an offensive line and the quarterback can make throws, Ohio State can beat Michigan. They can certainly have a better chance, Michigan does, if Jim Harbaugh is in the field. But if Michigan can prove it again, if it's like 45-23 again, I think that'll mean so much more because it'll just kind of prove how dominant Michigan is once again. Last year, people were like, oh, it was a fluke. It was just 2 runs here and there. It wasn't a fluke, but I digress. Nick saying, come to the Washington game next year. I'm pumped. I might. I can't remember when that game is, but we'll have to look at it. I might go to more games. I'm definitely coming to the Texas game next year. September 7th, going to the Texas game. We live in Dallas. My son is just starting to understand sports. He's just turned 7 years old. We've been talking about going to the Texas game because, he thinks Texas is a school he should root for, but he's a Michigan fan now. So even when the game was not scheduled to be until 2027, we had talked about it. When it got changed last year, Next, it's going to be in 2024. Boom, we're going to it next year. Maybe about a month before his 8th birthday. We went over the top 25. Check out one of the top 25. For anybody watching who didn't check it really quick, we're at the top 25. Talk about Jim Harbaugh's suspension. Make sure you go back and watch that part. Some very key information there. We did our Michigan football Q&A, and now we're going to do a quick Michigan-Maryland preview. The top 25 in the CFP, it's Kansas, Tulane, Oklahoma State. What an embarrassment they were on Saturday. Utah, Kansas State, inside the top 20, North Carolina, Notre Dame, Tennessee, Arizona, the Fighting Jed-Fishes, and Iowa. Iowa is like that punt against Minnesota, whatever, that got called back with 2 minutes left. That crazy, they called him, said he was calling for fair catch. It was the worst call in college football history. If not for that, they've got one loss. They're probably number 9 and number 10, and they have an outside chance of making it to this college football playoff if they make it to the Big Ten, beat Michigan, Ohio State. Like, that's crazy how it is with Eric All and Cade McNamara out for the season, but one of the worst offenses in college football history. Top 15, it's LSU, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, who just got crushed by Georgia, Penn State, who just got beat soundly by Michigan, Oregon State has a chance to make some noise. They've got 2 losses, but they play Washington coming up on Saturday. Inside the top 10, Louisville, 1 loss. They could make a run. It needs some help, but they can make a run. Missouri with 2 losses, not happening. Alabama, they've got a Texas problem. Texas beat them, and they both have 1 loss. Inside the top 6, this will play out, right? Washington and Oregon are most likely going to play each other, so you can have 1 loss there. Michigan and Ohio State are going to play each other, so you have a loss there through Ohio State. Georgia's going to play Alabama, so you have 1 there between 1 and 8. Florida State may place Louisville, so you have 1 between, what was Louisville, 9 or 10, right? So you have number 4 Florida State, as long as they take care of business, play number 10 Louisville. So you can have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 8 of the top 10 teams will face another team that's currently ranked in the top 10, and Washington has a game against Oregon State, who's right outside the top 10. If you guys think Michigan will win the national title like I do, this is the year, 2023. They wear Jordan. It just makes a lot of sense in my opinion. Comment yes in the live chat as we are going to jump into our Michigan-Maryland preview. As soon as the Michigan preview is done, that's going to be the end of the show. Jack, why don't we show the Super Chat menu one more time, just to see if anyone wants to Super Chat. Make sure we don't miss out. Anybody who wants to make us do stupid human tricks. Oh, yeah. Super Chat menu. We gave away 2 Michigan football helmets in this show. Ashley Lawson got one. Got a, cancer-free once again, so really excited to send her that helmet. And then Steve Richard got one as well, Michigan football helmet, because we hit some revenue goals. Now, if you want us to do a wheel spin, I got 8 things I got to do on a wheel that I can tell you about. Any Super Chat gets you in the show. $5, we'll do a wheel spin. $10, you're on the Hard Hat Club. Get your name, and you'll be on the end screen. And if you want to see me at coming up on 11 o'clock Eastern, do a beer bong, grown man, father of 2. Anyone sends in the Super Chat between now and let's just call it 11:05 Eastern, around there, when we wrap up the show, I will do a beer bong and then probably Uber at that point. So there it is. Let's get things rolling. It is going to be our Michigan-Maryland preview. Just want to make sure I find my spot in my script. Jack, you ready? All right, let's get it rolling right now. Michigan-Maryland preview here on the Michigan Football Report. Michigan heads east to play Maryland, a team that really under Jim Harbaugh, they have dominated, although with a late score last year, it was a closer game than many felt it was in reality, a 1-score matchup in Ann Arbor for that game. This Maryland team, though, has really struggled as of late. They're 6-4, but 3-4 in the Big Ten. Struggling on offense, not explosive with Tua's brother, Talia, in his, third year starting. Josh Gaddis there, as Michigan, though, has the number 1 scoring defense, number 1 overall defense, and number 1 pass defense in all of college football. Wolverines are favored by 19.5 points. This game will be on Fox, big noon, second week in a row for Michigan, second of 3 straight weeks. Predict the score down in the comments. Michigan has had some blowouts against Maryland under Jim Harbaugh. Go down and predict the score. I think I've got mine. I'm going to hold on to it. Let's see. My score prediction is going to be, I'm going to go 42-9. I don't think Josh Gaddis has it in him to score a touchdown against Michigan. 42-9. Predict your score as Michigan gets its 1,000th win in Maryland coming up on Saturday. Go into the comments and make your prediction. We are going to break down this game in a little bits of Michigan slanted way coming up on the Michigan Football Report right now. As always, I am your host, James Yoder. What to watch for in a game that I think a month ago really looked like it could be exciting. Could be a top 10, top 15 matchup. Maryland was really off to a strong start, but they have not been strong since their schedule. They won against Townsend. They beat Charlotte, right? Biff Poggi, who came out last week and really supported Jim Harbaugh. Then they crushed Virginia, and that Virginia team's turned out to stink. You beat Michigan State. So all of a sudden, okay, you're looking 4-0, now 5-0, you crush Indiana. But ever since they went and played at Ohio State, they lost by 20 in that game, right? Then you lose a game, just an unforgivable game against Illinois. Then you lose an even more unforgivable game at Northwestern. You get crushed against Penn State, 51-15. We saw that Penn State offense, and somehow they scored 51 points on Maryland. But they finally get a win, 13-10. Against Nebraska, or you'd be going into this Michigan game with a 5-game losing streak. First thing I'm looking for, Michigan's defense got to dismantle Gaddis' offense, right? Josh Gaddis, speed and space. His entire time at Michigan just kind of disgusts me because he gets a lot of credit for 2021, even though he didn't deserve it. He wasn't the true offensive coordinator, just in title. Brad, I see you, Brad. I see that $10 super chat. I'm going to get to you in just a moment. Dismantle Gaddis' offense. No chance Maryland can stop Michigan's offense. So if Michigan can dismantle Josh Gaddis' speed and space offense, Michigan's going to control this game. The only chance Maryland has is if they can somehow exploit Michigan's defense in any way. And over Josh Gaddis' 5 years as an offensive coordinator, 3 at Michigan, 1 at Miami last year, and now at Maryland, I have yet to see anything that says he can't do that. All right, guys, I'm making a deal. I'm putting out the vibes. The number of new subscribers we get today's video, this preview, however many subscribers we get who click that button today, that's how many points Michigan's going to score. So if we get 50 new subscribers this video, 50 new subscribers, put a 50 burger on Gaddis and Maryland. Make sure you subscribe to Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports, youtube.com/Michigan TV. Jack, we had 2 $10 super chats coming in from Brad. If you want to put those on screen, I'll take them during this segment, or we can wait. But Brad, I see you with the bet. I see you with the Bosa. You're going to get 2 helmet stickers. Eyes on Talia, right? To his brother. He has been in college, feels like forever. This is like his 9th year, it seems like. And he's had a decent game, but not like a successful game against Michigan the last couple seasons. 20 of 30, 270 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions last year. Prior year, 19 of 33, 178. Not really that big of a game. That's the game that Michigan absolutely blew Maryland out. Had a touchdown, had an interception, and a rushing touchdown on the season, right? He is 245 of 375. So they're throwing the ball a lot more than Michigan is. 65% clip he's throwing the ball at. 2,769 yards. He's got himself 22 passing touchdowns, an interception, 26 total touchdowns with that rushing TD. Now, he's going to go, Jack, make sure we change that on top. We got a little typo there on that Michigan side. We got a Michigan football defense that he's going to face. This Michigan football defense, number 1 in the country right now at 232 points per game. Number 1 in passing defense at 134 yards per game. Number 12 in rush defense. Okay, cool. And number 1 in points. I have never seen a college football defense number 1 in 3 of those 4 categories, the main 4 categories that you rank defenses in this late in the season. So we're going to see an old friend, right? Josh Gaddis. It's been an underperforming offense. And the thing that when I dove into this Maryland offense that just reminded me so much of why he was not successful in Michigan is that number right there. Number 77 in the country in red zone success. When they get in there, they score touchdowns, they score field goals. Dismantle Josh Gaddis' offense, and you are going to have an absolute field day because to his brother, Talia, he's going to throw some interceptions. That's what he's known for, right? To have big plays, but against the big teams like Michigan, he throws interceptions, and then Michigan's offense should have an absolute field day because this Maryland defense is among the worst in the entire Big Ten. Hell, probably one of the top 3 or 4 worst defenses, I think, at least, in all of Power 5. Let me know if you want Jim Harbaugh on the sidelines. Hell, if you like Jim Harbaugh on the sidelines, then like this video. The only reason we do this is because it's like, let's put out the good vibes. Put out the good vibes. Don't jinx it. I'll get a list of everybody who likes the video, everybody who watched the video. They better match up. The more people like it, put out the good vibes. Jim Harbaugh is going to have something happen here in the next 2 days or so to put him back in the field against Maryland. Guys, we are presented by Prize Picks, my favorite app this football season. I'm going to tell you a little about Prize Picks. It's the easiest and fastest way to play daily fantasy sports. You just pick more or less on player stats to win up to 25 times your money. This week on Prize Picks, I let somebody else make my picks. I'm on a 3-week losing streak. So I've got C.J. Stroud. I'm going more than 1.5 passing touchdowns. I'm going more than a half touchdown for the Kelsey brothers combined. Weird one there, but I digress. I'm going more than a half touchdown run for Jalen Hurts. And then C.D. Lamb, what is that, 86.5 yards receiving. He's had 150 for 3 straight games. I'm going more for him too as well. Look, I'm making these 4 picks right now. I risk $10. If I hit all those, just pick more or less, right? I'm playing against the numbers. I'm not playing against anybody else. That's why I love Prize Picks. $10 risk, win those, pick those right. I get myself a $100 payout. Can mix and match sports. I can have an NFL and an NBA pick on the same ticket. Reboot policy. If any of those guys gets hurt in the first half, doesn't come back for the second half, they're just taken off the ticket and it keeps on rolling. And you have flex play with Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy made easy, and they're giving a special deal to you, a $100 first deposit match when you use code CLNS at prizepicks.com/CLNS. The link is in the comments. The link is in the description. prizepicks.com/CLNS. Get a $100 deposit bonus when you make your first deposit using that link and the promo code CLNS. We toss in the live chat too. We'll toss in the live chat as well. prizepicks.com/CLNS. Jim Harbaugh called Michigan America's team. You know who else called America's team? I call America's team. But Michigan needs to embrace the fact that they are a villain. Jack, what did you send me this morning? You said Stephen A. Smith or somebody said Jim Harbaugh and Michigan are Darth Vader, right? Michigan is just they are the bad guys. They're unlikable to all these media pundits, all these other schools. I actually think Colin Cowherd's come out and said he's never rooted harder for a college football team than he did Michigan against Penn State. So I think there's both sides. If it was me and I was rooting for Michigan, but this happened to another team, I would be rooting for that team because of how poorly they've been treated by the media, by the Big Ten. I said this on Saturday, right as the game was getting kicked off, 11:13 a.m. Central Time, which is 12:13 there in Penn State. I said the entire country is pulling for Michigan today, and I was kind of being a joke. I was kind of joking there. I knew this would get a reaction from people. Liberty and justice for all, America's team, right? America's team is Michigan. And then on Monday, Jim Harbaugh comes and says this. It's got to be America's team. This has got to be America's team. America loves a team that beats the odds, beats the adversity, overcomes what the naysayers, critics, so-called experts thinks. That's my favorite kind of team. And you got to embrace it. Go on the road against Maryland and act like you're playing at home. When people boo you, they call you cheaters, act like they're saying it to somebody else. Just say, bring it on. Do what Blake Corum did. You see him go in the end zone for a touchdown. He mocked Manny Diaz, the Penn State defensive coordinator. It was like, and he was just making fun of him. Like, where are you at right now? Embrace the role as villain. J.J. McCarthy, wave bye-bye to the Ohio State crowd, right? Say we own this B. Like he said, run off the field at Penn State. Embrace the villain role. Kind of like LeBron did when he went to Miami. Right? He was trying to push it off. When he finally embraced it, boom, won back-to-back titles his second and third year with the Heat. Comment USA to support Jim Harbaugh. This Michigan football team, folks, this is America's team. Michigan really needs to reestablish the passing game. No touchdowns from J.J. McCarthy the last 2 games, but he had that 340 yards 2 weeks ago. No passing touchdowns, so they struggled to pass a little bit in the red zone, really relied on Blake Corum. But look, Drew Aller, right, he passed on this Maryland team. He went 24-5 of 34 for 240 yards, 4 touchdowns against Maryland. J.J. McCarthy needs to be feeling it. He needs to feel confident going to the Ohio State game. Nothing's going to do that better than 285 yards and 3 touchdowns against Maryland and then maybe sitting by the end of the third quarter. 60 yards against Penn State. It got the job done. It got the win. JJ's not a selfless player. He was fine with it, but I don't want Michigan to have him throw for 105 yards, only 12 or 13 passes, because you can then 3-week stretch going into the Ohio State game where you've got barely any passing production. I think Michigan needs to light it up a little bit more, reestablish that passing game. Just over a week, baby. Just over a week, going for 3 straight, beat Ohio State again. So make sure from now until next Saturday and then basically forever, just support the cause, comment Bosa over and over. Just do it as many times as your little heart desires. Trust me, the players see it. Parents watch the show. Jim Harbaugh has my tweets on demand with the America's team thing. They see it, and they understand the support. This team's feeling a lot of support internally, a lot of pressure externally. Keep up the internal support. They watch videos on YouTube just like anybody else. Make sure they go down and see Beat Ohio State again. Type Bosa down in the comments. I really like to see Michigan give Ohio State nightmares. I think that running game against Penn State is giving Ryan Day, is giving Jim Knowles nightmares, right? The 2 years ago nightmares when Michigan just bludgeoned Ohio State over and over and over. Not necessarily the last year nightmares. It wasn't 75 yards. It wasn't 85 yards. Diamond Edwards last time. But I would like to see them give a new wrinkle to the playbook this week, like we've seen from one man who I've been talking about for this entire year, and that's Diamond Edwards, right? 2 years ago, as a true freshman in 2021, he introduced himself to the world as a wide receiver, right? Set a Michigan football record for a running back with 10 catches for 170 yards and a touchdown against Maryland 2 years ago. Now, how about this? Remember that later on that year? What else did he do in the Big Ten championship game against Iowa? He threw a 40-plus yard touchdown pass to Roman Wilson. It was an absolute strike. It was an absolute dime. He had a pep and some pep in his steps, right? He had a little pep in his step, broke it outside, got the longer touchdown. Seemed like Diamond Edwards was just kind of coming back, where he wasn't just going down at the first hit he took. That kind of confidence is what Michigan needs from him, from this entire team. I would love them to give Ohio State more nightmares. They showed they can continue being the ground and pound team. They know J.J. McCarthy can throw. Let's mix the Don back into it. Have him catch 6, 7, 8 passes downfield, not just a little screen, downfield, out of the backfield. Hell, toss to him on the outside, have him step up and fire downfield again like he proved he could do in the 2021 Big Ten championship game. Make Ohio State prepare for everything, because as of right now, they're probably not preparing for some of the things they have in the past, and that's not necessarily a great thing. Give them nightmares. Do it by reintroducing the Don to the playbook from a receiver and, hell, maybe even a passer. I'll ask you guys this question, though. Let's see, Thomas Berry. Yoder gang, do we hang 50 on Ohio State? I sure as hell hope so. 40 yards receiving at Maryland for the Don. Over or under? Look, I've been overly confident with Edwards all season, so I'm not stopping now. Even though it probably won't happen, I'm going over. He's getting 100 yards receiving against Maryland. So let me know what you guys think. Over or under? If he gets the over, it's more nightmares for Ohio State. They know they got to worry about Blake Corum. They got to worry about Diamond Edwards running 85 yards. They got to worry about Diamond Edwards catching the ball for 40, 50, 60 yards. J.J. McCarthy, Roman Wilson, Cornelius Johnson, A.J. Barner, Colston Loveland, 6, 7, 8 offensive linemen at times that bludgeon the Penn State. If you do that, trust me, you will do whatever you want against Jim Knowles and this revitalized, resurgent Ohio State defense, despite all the talent they have, because frankly, they just won't know what the hell to prepare for. Give them all the wrinkles you can coming up on Saturday against Maryland, because it just takes them more time to prepare for those things and less on just stopping your core offense. That is our Michigan-Maryland preview, as Michigan's going for win number 1,000 coming up on Saturday. That's the show, and I don't know what, Jack. I've been standing for 2 hours and 17 minutes now. My neck is like hurting. I don't know if you've seen, like, I've been doing this. I've done like 4-hour shows before, but I don't know. I just was not prepared. I didn't stretch before the show, so I think we have to wrap it up as it's 10:03, 11:03 Eastern. Toss the Super Chat menu up one more time. I think we had a super come in. Brad, right? Brad. So let's see those from Brad. We'll show you the Super Chat menu in a second. But Brad says, Bosa, that's all I have to say. Brad, you're getting yourself. You know what? Yep, Brad. I got to remember. Okay, GE. Yep. Brad, you got yourself 2 helmet stickers coming up. My man, my main man. A third? All right, Brad. Wait, do we owe anything? What, I know helmet stickers. So we do a there you go, Brad. Jack, let's just do for fun. So we have Brad do 3 of them. Let's do one wheel spin. I just feel it. So he says, do you think McCarthy will have another BG game and forced throws, get multiple INTs in the remaining regular season games? No. wins 45-6. I think he learned his lesson, and he really hasn't had too many even near attempts after that against Bowling Green, which is such out-of-character throws for him. Those are just terrible throws. There's not saying he's not going to throw an interception in these last few games, but I think he has gotten so accurate and so smart with where he puts the ball that I just can't foresee him throwing any more than one interception any single game, including a college football playoff going forward. Out of Spirit of the Heart, 3 Super Chats and Brad. Let's do a wheel spin, Jack. What do we got in there? Go ahead and spin that wheel. Let's see what we land on. Wheel spin. Well, thank you guys. Huge day for the show. Big Super Chats from everybody. What do we got? Sing hail to the victors. We are well over $1,000 in super chats tonight, making this really worth it that we see the support. John Blaze, Ashley Lawson, Brad Bucherite, Dominic Francillo, Thomas Berry, Steve Richard, Ashley Lawson, Traveris Beckley, Bill Graves, Dino, Stuart Yeager, Brad, of course, the Lost Angels, some guy, Angela. I think I named everybody that's John Blaze, of course, like 400, 500 hours. Sing hail to the victors. Hail to the victors, valiant. Hail to the conquering heroes. Hail, hail to Michigan, the leaders and best. Hail to the victors, valiant. Hail to the conquering heroes. Hail, hail to Michigan, the champions of the West. Go Blue! There we go. All right, that is wrap of the show. Did we show the super menu one more time to see if anyone wants to toss it out there one more time? If anyone wants to see, so a wheel spin, it's $5. We'll give it 60. How about 60-second shot clock up there? Want to do that? 60-second shot clock. 60 seconds when Jack puts the clock up. $5 wheel spin, $10 hard hat club, $100. Everyone wants to see me do a beer bong, father of two, here live on the show. No pressure. No pressure. Jumping jacks, I'm not going to do them, but I'll do a couple just while waiting for Jack. Let's go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, 60 seconds. Any more super chats come in, we will continue the show rolling. $100 beer bong, $10 hard hat, $5 wheel spin, or we sign off the show, which is totally fine. My neck's kind of hurting here. We had a lot of people watch the show tonight. Appreciate that. Peaked at 751 live viewers. There you go. Brad says do a wheel. Brad Bucherite, there you go. Wheel of fun. Jed, add another minute once we get the wheel spin. We'll do it again. We'll do it. Go. Death Dynasty says Venmo. What do we got here? What do we got here? What do we got here? I haven't been checking. I don't see any Venmos. All right. Wheel spin. There we go. Get the wheel spin. 2 wheel spins coming up. All right, Brad, your next one. There we go. $20 from some guy. There we go. Go Blue. Brad, ask me anything. $10 from Thomas Berry coming in. Let me get some guys. I know I've got a few on his. I owe him 2 here, but I'll at least get 1 for this one. Brad, ask me anything. Ask me anything in your next comment. Doesn't have to be super chat. Just next comment from Brad. Ask me anything. Some guy with $20. He just wanted to say, go Blue and Bosa. Michigan's come up on their 1,000th win and going for 1,001 a week from Saturday. Beat Ohio State again. A-Train132 says, get the wheel spin in. We will do that. Ashley Lawson with a 20 banger as well. Thanks again to you, Ashley. Make sure, I haven't checked yet, reply to my Venmo or you can DM me anywhere else, but I'm going to get you that helmet out ASAP. Ideally, I'd love to have it in your hands by the Ohio State game next week, so let's make sure to do that. I will get Thomas Berry. All right, he's got one. And Ashley. All right, so I got some guy. Go Blue Bosa. Ashley Lawson again. Ashley, I got quite a few coming for you. All right, Thomas Berry, some guy, Ashley Lawson. Thank you guys so much for everything. Okay, so this is the next question coming in from Brad. So this is the one. Yoder, how many years have you been covering Michigan football? So covering is a good question. I mean, a fan for, forward 35 years, something like that, my entire life, basically, et cetera. But so I'll give you guys a little backstory. Started a company, Chat Sports, a while back, and it was a completely different idea. It was a curated news experience with stats and scores and articles from all kinds of people, web app, and we built a nice business out of it, but it wasn't like exploding by any means. And so 2017, 2018, we started dabbling on Facebook Live, and then started with a daily show during the season, and then like twice a week during the off season for the Raiders, the Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers. Michigan football was what I hosted with a small staff in the 2018 season. So that's the first year I would say covering it. Then 2019, we started simulcasting on YouTube and just saw the growth really explode from there. And kind of the end of 2019 season, so 2020 till now, has been 4 seasons almost exclusively on YouTube. So thank you so much to Brad. Ask me anything. We got that one from Brad. Spin that wheel, Jack. What do we have? That's no fair. Let's do one more. All right, one more. Yep, there we go. Did I get Thomas? I get Thomas Berry's on there too. Okay, one more wheel. 10 jumping jacks. All right, Jack. Let's just do 60-second shot clock though. We'll start a clock and we'll end the show. All right. Can you put double cam for us or anything? So you can do meters there, or no? Do you have to? Cool. Which way do you want me to stand? This way? I'll sit this way. Make sure you don't trip on my cords. I got a lot of cords over here. All right, ready? Okay, ready? Let's do like military. It's like 1, 2. We'll do military, so it's really 20, right? Okay, ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 6. 1, 2, 3, 7. 1, 2, 3, 8. 1, 2, 3, 9. 1, 2, 3, 10. There you go. All right. Full jumper jacks. I was trying to do my full jumper jacks. It's a limited space studio. I don't want to hit any of these lights or anything like that. You see how step back, we light for this, and if we step back, the light gets all kind of distorted, etc. Yeah, Jack and I are rocking the same. This is the Harbaugh, this is the coaches. Not the Counter Stallions one. It's definitely not the Alex Yude one. It's the one that the coaches brand one that are selling on there. Who was? Jesse Minter. All right. I think that's the show then, Jack. Appreciate everybody. A-Train, Ashley Lawson, Brad Earl, Thomas Berry, of course, DC 93. Talking about Michigan podcast, okay. AAA family, Backwood Billy, Brad, I like that. Buckeye Ace FBI. You're crazy, Buckeye Ace. You're crazy, man. Phil Bath, some guy, Death Dynasty. DC 93, the AAA family, so a lot of the same people in the chat. That is the Michigan Football Report for Young Harbaugh, Jack Lauderay, for our winners, Steve Richard, Ashley Lawson, our MVP, John Blaze, Wolverine, some guy, and many others. Thank you all for the support. I'll have videos out on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday. We'll be covering the Harbaugh situation, whether it happens prior to that or if it goes to court on Friday. I'll be remote, so I'll do a little later post-game show. Then I got a 5:30 a.m. flight on Sunday. I'll be back in here with Jack Sunday morning doing an Overreaction Sunday. I have videos all week next week, including live next Tuesday. We'll have shows Wednesday. I'll pre-record a video for Thanksgiving. Back in the studio on Friday, and then we'll be on post-game from Michigan, Ohio State. Maybe live. Jack's trying to talk to me live. I don't know if I can handle live, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, that is all. Appreciate everybody. So I'll talk to you guys next time. Go Blue.